my learning curve this year.
Yeah.
So much fun, so rewarding. These are designed for grade 15 to 27.
When I was on the road, I had mine down here, and I listened back to the commentary. Mine sounded the same as yours. And Bo had his right up here.
Oh, sure, okay.
So, I'm going to...
Look, there will be times... I think last week I said you take and so you just put myself in the wall and check the audio.
Oh, yeah.
So, if that happens...
I really liked your structured approach. That was a good way to operate.
Look, you're welcome. It will be annoying at times. I don't apologise in advance.
I think it's good to have a structure though, because I feel like you're tuning into nothing less than listening to talking over the top of each other.
That's what I thought. So we've got 10 minutes. We've got team lists of that's alphabetical order of name. That's the numerical order.
Oh, yeah,
Did I mention I'm a nerd? So...
Spreadsheet they put for the spreadsheet together for the 19s?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so there's...
Offers it?
Yeah, okay, I'll leave that. But I kind of feel which one to tell you. Or if you have your...
Well, if I mean, I've got some of it. Yeah. If I do more of the hospital program for last week, I've got to like 11, 12 hours, I've switched over to you yet. So
of course. Yeah, it's all good. So I can, you do the intro then and then just want to do the 10 overs again?
Exactly, yeah, and feel free to tap me in. So...
So you got, are you doing a KO game?
No. Last week,
Yeah.
And I mean, this is obviously I've got two guys who play against the so I'll get one of them. You're done 2 L's, 2 T's? Yeah. Yep. Just put a little message in the group, so...
Testing 1, 2.
Testing.
This is an audio check. Attempting to increase volume.
Testing 1, 2.
Testing the audio and commentary volume.
So we're just about to get underway here in the second game on field number 2 down here at Redlands Tigers. We've got the Gold Coast Waveriders playing the Bayside Pirates. And it'll be the Gold Coast Waveriders batting first here this morning. Opening batsman for the Gold Coast Waveriders will be number 1, Bailey Sewell, number 2, Cooper Mackey.
Welcome to Fred Pratsman Oval here in Wellington Point. My name's Daniel Lyons. I'll be joined by Elliot Lyons. This is the semi-final of the Under-19 tournament in the Brisbane Premier
Morgan
League.
Galvin will open the bowling here for the Bayside Pirates wearing number 8.
And the ground announcers just mentioned Morgan Galvin will be the opening bowler for the Bayside Pirates. The Gold Coast Waveriders batting first in their traditional
Strike
goal.
number 1, Bailey Sewell, Gold Coast Waveriders.
Number 1, Bailey Sewell, the left-hander. Possibly hear the ground announcer better than you can hear me. But the right arm around the wicket is Morgan Galvin. Will open from the northern end. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Daniel Lyons. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Semi-final number 2. Darling Dingo's got up over Kings in semi-final 1.
Sylvan on the pad, they will get a leg by. The umpire was not interested in the appeal. Neither really was the batter. He knew that he was fairly safe. So Cooper Mackey, in the number 2 shirt, on strike for the Waveriders. Undefeated minor premiers, 6 from 6 in the round robin.
Yeah, 2 very promising, talented opening batsmen here. Bailey Sewell, the young
Quick
Gold
recap on the
Coast
first match of the
Dolphins
morning over here on field number 2.
Saturday,
The
the
win to the Darling
hander.
Dingoes.
And Cooper
Who
Mackey.
defeated the Northern Kings. Darling Dingoes
Batsman
first
as well.
move in the first semi-final here on
And very
round of
consistent this opening pair so far this competition.
Turned well into the leg side by Mackey, so he gets the first run off the bat for the Waveriders. We saw that it was just over 120, I think, the Kings scored earlier today, and they weren't able to defend that.
Yeah, we thought it might have been a bit of a low score, but it turned out to be quite a competitive total in the end. I'm not sure 15, 20 runs really would have taken things down to the wire, so one total is hard to defend in finals, Daniel.
Well played into the offside by Sewell. Obviously the power play, only the 2 fielders outside of the circle, and they've gone for the traditional third man, but also for a very deep point, which you won't be able to see on the screen. That's far out to the left. So for these 2 left-handers.
Captains all the underage teams for the Dolphins, Bailey Sewell, for a senior role here for the Waveriders.
Not a clean shot. The appeal from first slip was ambitious, to say the least. Flicked to the leg side for 1.
This partnership's been crucial for the Waveriders so far this competition.
And thank you for the tip from both Jar, SN and John Smith. Yep, I will fix the camera at the end of the over, thank you.
Sewell works that down to third man on the rope for a single. Very comfortable, both these opening batsmen so far. If you are just joining us and you missed the first semi-final this morning, Innings went down to the Darling Dingoes. Power play, first power play of the day, only went for 7 runs in the first 4 overs, so already this opening partnership looking like they'll exceed that with a big total on the board here for the Waveriders. Clears the front leg and gets that through. That'll be 4 runs. This outfield is absolutely lightning here at Redlands Cricket Club. And that's the first boundary of the day. Mid-off was on the ring and he was no chance. So great start here from the Waveriders. Cooper Mackey with the first boundary of the day. Opening partnership with Bailey Sewell and Cooper Mackey already
here.
showing signs of a very promising total here for the Waveriders.
Cooper Mackey on 6, Bailey Sewell on 2, so we've got 9.
Yes, thanks for waiting till I finish my cameraman duties there, really. So, but no, lovely off drive. It's James Pullen will take over from the near end. Thomason directing traffic, not the captain.
And the new bowler for the Pirates is James Puller. James Puller wearing number 7, bowling the second over here for the Bayside Pirates.
7 runs came off it, and 9 runs have come off the first over alone here in the second semi-final.
So you watched that Kings power play. Was it a lack of intent or just nothing went right for them?
Lack of intent. There was no intent from the opening batsman. I think there was plenty of nerves in the air the first final of the day. Still works that down the ground for a single. Looking very comfortable, these 2 opening batsmen. Both with very productive campaigns so far. James Puller, arm orthodox. He's got a man back at deep wicket and long on. Bowler stuck to stump line here. Go.
It's coming down the ground. That could be a caught and bowl. Fumbled. Early opportunity for James Puller. It's been a good day for left arm spinners generally, but he'll be disappointed with putting down that early chance.
Goodness me, you can't put down opportunities like that in finals. Crucial wicket of Cooper Mackey gone down in the second over here.
Beautiful delivery. Everyone behind the wicket was interested in the appeal. Everyone in front of it was not. Might have been into a leg license.
No, inside edge. So that was a crucial drop, that Dan. Be interesting to see how much Pirates.
That's 6. He picked up the length of that very, very early. There's a family just having a bit of a light play, and there's a young boy about 8 who's gone to fetch the ball, but that was a half volley. The length was read very, very early and deposited over deep mid-wicket, but not really just a hack. That was, it wasn't quite an on-drive, but it was more of an on-drive than a hack.
Glorious, lofted flick over mid-wicket, if you will. And already that drop proving costly, Dan.
I think as a bowler, you do just have to put that out of your mind and say, well, if I created one chance, I can create another.
You'd be an optimistic skipper.
I always was. Bullard pulled the length back slightly, no pun intended. Just a little change of pace as well. Good variety, and it's important for Bullard that he puts that disappointment out of his head. None for
18
at the end of 2, forgive me, thank you.
9 runs and over so far for the Waveriders, and that's a flyer by all standards.
To be honest though, this is normal service resume. Like, this is what you want batters to do during a power play. It was simply that the Kings didn't do it in the semi-final.
At the end of the second over. No wicket for 18.
So Galvin's continue from the northern end. It looks classy, Bailey Sewell, onto the front foot. No run on that occasion.
That's going to keep a Mackie on
tell that
13
he's
and
looking down the
Bailey on 3.
Played representative cricket all the way through the juniors pathway. Bailey Sewell becomes a very highly regarded, talented left-hander. Yeah, big wicket here for the Pirates if they can get him early.
Cleverly played. He's knocked that beautiful fielding. That was, in fact, there's the second number 2 out there. We'll have to get the jersey number in a moment, because number 2 is Braden Lappin. The fielder at point had to dive to his right, did so, got it in the one hand in a very quick return.
Yeah, great fielding there at back at point, and they're the kind of stops that just held that to 1, could have been 3 or even a boundary, so a crucial save there. And that's the hunger you want from your fieldsmen, especially on the ring. Pressure builds.
Lovely delivery. It's not going to be a run because mid-off moved swiftly into position.
So Galvin has had a very fruitful campaign so far in the BPL. Consistent wickets throughout. They want a big breakthrough here from their fast bowler.
False start for Galvin. No one minds. Gets under it, Mackie. That is a slog down the ground. It looks like it may just hold up, despite the best effort of the Brownsmen, and it has been well fielded at the long-off boundary. So they run through for a third. That's excellent running from Mackie and Sewell, and they add an odd number to the score.
Tell you what, we saw 5 run-outs in the first semi-final, Dan, so I thought we might have been on for another run-out. Something about this ground today, but safely there, and away with one there. Field keeper Mackie cleared the front leg, fields up, and that's a great opening batsman.
Beautiful. Held the length back, and that's the first time we've seen the outside edge beaten in this innings. It is a crowned ground where the rise and middle, often to help with drainage, if you can't afford the billions of dollars it takes to put the underground pipes in. So I do wonder whether just seeing over the horizon, as it were, makes running between wickets just a little bit trickier.
Let's put it down to that, rather than bad batting, which I think might have been the cause.
Second in a row.
That is a great channel in all formats of cricket.
And a bit of extra bounce there for Galvin as well. He'd been hitting sort of around the waist. That one wasn't really any short on the previous delivery, but that was up around the elbow. I think he just surprised the batter there. So Sewell and Mackie showing good intent, but Galvin showing what happens when you counter-attack the batters and try to take position.
Yeah, with the low totals in the previous game, I
Mackie on 16 not out, Bailey Sewell 4 not
and
out.
they said the wicket's playing fine.
James Fuller
Just
will be
the
coming in
pressure
for the
on
second over of the innings.
it's,
James Fuller, going number 7.
Pause, and looks like we've got Fuller to continue.
Sounds like the ground announce is louder than us at the moment, which some of you may prefer. I'm not sure, but we will try not to talk over so you're not getting information crashing. That's a slog. It's going to be... No, mid-off will catch this. That's an excellently judged catch from Zach Maguire.
There's a wicket to James Fuller.
And Puller, after dropping a catch in the previous over, redemption
Nice catch
as the
taken
first
there by
wicket is
Zach
down for the
Maguire.
Waveriders.
Yeah, he gets his man there,
First
Cooper
wicket down
Mackie.
for the Gold Coast Waveriders.
Cleared his front leg out, really looking to make the most of the field up. Last over of the power play. Proves his undoing. First wicket down, 1 for 22.
There is a wind blowing back towards us as well. Not sure whether that really affected Zach
Coming
Maguire's
batsman here for
judgment.
the Gold Coast Waveriders, wearing number 9 is Ashley Singh.
Ashby Singh, the new batter, coming out number 3. Yeah, not sure whether that affected his ability to judge the length of the catch, but he did it
Ashby
quite well.
currently has a strike rate of 115.98, highest score of 72, and a batting average of 63.5, so he could be a danger man.
I've noticed that what I was going to say before the ground announce kicked in has fallen out of my head, so I'll get back to that.
And Cooper Mackey scored 16 runs there. 16 runs for Cooper Mackey.
Right, with the breakthrough in again here. So
And see why they appealed, but not out. Community cricketers do one thing better than grade cricketers, and that is put the drop catch out of your head, because you get so many of them. If you worry about missing an opportunity, you'll miss the next one as well, the next one after that. Again, the appeal probably wasn't going to go over the top, but Puller showing excellent control and a bit too reliant on the sweep is Sewell.
yeah, they're up and about though, the Pirates, and you like to see that from the fielding side.
Going along for an easy single as Connor Alpine misfields, and they have gone for a second. And Alpine who bowled very well in the seniors comp last week in the game we called out at Ivan Marsden. Makes an early error, but he'll have plenty of chances to attain. Deft. Lovely touch. Gets the single down to third. And a significantly better over from James Puller. Well done.
1 for 23, so 23 runs coming off the power play. The first 4 overs, 25 rather. And
Gold
the
Coast
Waveriders,
Waveriders now after 4 overs. 1 for 25, 1 for 25 after 4 up. Bailey Sewell, 7 not out. Ashby Singh yet to get off the mark. 1 for 25.
well, you heard it there. Ground announcer. 1 for 25 off 4. Waveriders.
And Morgan Galvin coming for his third over for the Bayside Pirates. And we have a power play.
So Bailey Sewell, Queensland representative under 15s, 17s. Sometimes rookie challenge representative on strike. Very good. Just works that one forward to point and they come through for a single. Fierce Singh on strike. Had a tremendous campaign so far. If you are just joining us, glorious day for cricket down here at Redlands. Galvin continues. Been valuable for the Pirates throughout this competition. It's been a beautiful opening spell so far from the fast bowler. And for 13 so far as slip comes out, moves to the ring at cover and they move the sweep around. Squarer, so he's more of a cover point out on the boundary there. The field spread. Fine leg, deep mid wicket, long off. Kick outside edge on the drive there, squirts wide of third man and then just through for a single. Ashby Singh off the mark, averaging 46. Steady start this from the Waveriders. Sewell looking dangerous early. Valuable partnership this one for the Waveriders.
Good controlled batting from Sewell. He doesn't have to go for the big shot. If there's a single to be taken with a little cheeky shot, he'll do it.
Yeah, and that's what he does well. He really knows how to build an innings. Elegant left-hander. He'll look to really play himself in here. Anchor the innings for the Waveriders.
little wide and full there from Galvin, but he gets away with the dot ball.
A very productive campaign, Ashvia Singh. Runs flowing easily. I feel like Pirates know that the next wicket's a valuable one with this partnership. It's interesting to see what sort of total they put on the board here. Saw 125 chased down in the 18th over in the previous game.
They've got a 200 in this tournament. I think he tried to show the umpire how wide it was and accidentally hit it. In fact, Singh looks a little bit disappointed that he got a single there as it squeezed out the point.
Yeah, we had a chance to look at the new rock as well before the game they went out there, and there's no seam on these. It's not a kookaburra, so it's a... remember the name of the ball, but it doesn't have a seam on it. So we've seen it swing a lot, but not so much movement off the seam.
Now, is this the same smart ball they're using over in the seniors, where it actually measures the speed of the ball as it's travelling?
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
I think Michael has to reach out to do with the development of that. And if you're watching the KO coverage of the seniors later, because you're staying here for this, but if you're watching the KO coverage, you will see the bowling speeds come up, and that is actually coming from the ball. As we have a bowling change here at the southern end, the Peter Burge Oval end, is Zach Maguire, who took an excellent catch a couple of overs ago, is here to take on Singh and Sewell.
So last time these two sides met, the Waveriders chased down 147 in the last delivery of the innings though. So tight contests here between these two teams, the winner of which will face the Dingoes in the final this afternoon.
Pacey action from Maguire. It's into the gap, will be fielded out towards the boundary by Caleb Montgomery, and it lands to the keeper on the bounce. So it needs just an extra bit of wind mix and take there. But Singh showing that he's capable outside off stump.
Still averaging 76 so far this season, and a lot of these boys have played a lot of cricket already so far.
Which ties in nicely with the comment from Cody Reynolds on the screen, which just calls him Super Soul.
Cody Reynolds, fellow Gold Coast player, bowls a lot to him in the nets. Young fast bowler, Cody Reynolds, talented young player.
Just guided to third for a lazy single. Tries to put pressure on the fielder by turning with intent for a second. It was all bluff. There you go, Cody, you've been called.
Yeah, they wouldn't mind him steaming in off the long run here, the Pirates. Another young player that'll come through the Gold Coast system. 1 for 32 here.
Actually in the air, but also into the gap. Out to Montgomery at deep cover. Throw lane's a little short again, but I mean, this is quite a big field. And I realise that these are very fit 18, 19-year-olds, but that would be a good 60-metre throw from that western boundary.
Zach Maguire, love his action. Comes out of the hand nicely. Looks like a nice outswinger to the right-hander. It is to the left.
That's a French swing, and the French cricketers would be a little bit offended by that, but it is down to the boundary. He's got a very ugly fall, and unless the scorers have got wagon wheels on them, which you can find on the BPL app, although we acknowledge that there have been some problems with that today, but yeah, he'll have to tell his friends that was a leg glance.
As we were saying a lot last week, Dan, they all look the same in the scorebook.
Unless you've got Judy Harris with her 12 coloured pens. Doesn't middle it by any stretch. It heads down towards the Magpie, fielding it short straight hit, but well fielded by Arpine. And if I've got that pronunciation wrong and anyone knows what it should be, stick it in the comments.
Yeah, it looked like an outie there to the left-hander from Maguire, so he's got it going both ways here, the young fast bowler.
Well, normally bowlers with a front-on action, right-handers will bowl natural in-swingers to a right-hander. Good length delivery, but just straying onto the pads. A quick single, even though the fielding on the leg side was sharp.
So Ashvia Singh plies his trades. Northern District Cricket Club in the regular season. second highest run scorer in the BPL under 19 so far. 264 runs to his name, so if ever there's a man to have in form, it's this guy. They've got him in the middle of the Waveriders, right where you want him.
It's 1 for 38. It's been a solid start for the
38
Waveriders, but
after
to their
6 overs,
credit,
the Gold Coast Waveriders. 1 for 38 after 6. Not our batsman, Bailey Sewell on 15. Ashby Singh on 5.
the man you can hear on the mic is Glenn Hazlitt, who is the father of Sam Hazlitt of the Brisbane Heat. And not a regular Blues player, Sam Hazlitt, but he's certainly making his mark in all forms of the game.
Regular star of the Premier Cricket here in Queensland, Sam Hazlitt.
Ball coming into the Bayside
Very
Pirates.
popular.
Liam Thomason. Liam Thomason wearing number 3.
Ah, that one.
Swing and a miss there for Singh.
The bowler at the northern end is Flynn Thomason, who's had a whale of a tournament. He is a genuine all-rounder. Had a, I'm going to say a 77 not out of 51 balls. I think you've got the stats in front of you there, Elliot. But he's been one of these guys who can turn up and perform whatever stage the game is at.
So a lot of these cricketers are able to offer very valuable roles in both disciplines, batting and bowling,
Makes
in
you
this
sick.
day and age.
Makes you sick. In the air, but well into the gap. It's gone to the right of Zach Maguire, but he fields well. Was onto it slickly. Just the single to Singh.
So Flynn Thomason will see him, Flynn rather, come in at first drop for the Pirates. Very valuable overs here as well. They've got plenty of bowling stocks, the Pirates. 6 or 7 bowlers that can bowl. Handy to have options as a skipper in T20.
Not a huge amount of variety, though. We've seen 3 fairly similar right-arm paces. Played that shot a few times today. There's a crash. There's Bailey Sewell. Wasn't quite watching where he was going, as wasn't Flynn Thomason. And it's all picked up from Nelson.
Love to see a little bit of confrontation there between batter and bowler.
That wasn't that was a bump. That was not watching where you were going.
Rob Mildy, coaching the 3rd and 4th grade at Gold Coast Cricket Club, walking behind us. Away, Mildy.
Flick down the leg side. Well played by Singh. He's decided that all-out aggression isn't the way to go. So he's able to just turn it around the corner for a single. Thomason keeping it tight, fairly straight. The breeze has picked up, as you can probably hear through the mics. Fuller's delivery's bowled this over, just guided to mid-on for a single. So if you had the bars showing the direction of Thompson's deliveries, the only variation would be that he's gone over and around the wicket. Another full delivery on drive. It's cleared the fielder at mid-on. And that rolls across this carpet-like outfield. In fact, it has gone for 6. Apologies. Singh got onto that. Maybe didn't quite move his feet according to the textbook, but the bat speed was all he needed on that occasion.
And we're just getting the inside word here. Ashby Singh played 4s last year, got a damaging 90 odd off not many against the Gold Coast Dolphins in the regular season, and he's up playing 2s this year for the North.
So a nice 6 there to finish the over for the Gold Coast Waveriders.
Notice the club selectors have a version of the 3rd grade. If you do well in 4th grade, it's often straight to 2nd without passing through 3rd. I'm not sure whether that's where they put the old and grizzled old players who are making their way down to the 1st grade. They don't want to subject them. Zach Maguire from the south.
insight there from Rob Mill, fourth grade coach of Gold Coast Dolphins.
Thank you, Rob.
So Bailey Sewell, you've obviously done a lot of coaching with Bailey. She's come through the junior ranks down there in the Gold Coast. Played Queensland 15.
Actually, had a really good start. Sort of got himself into the lights. Scored a lot of runs. Really good. Scored a lot of runs this year. Played the offside for a single. Diving.
Last thing I want is him in the sheds and another run out.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the best tactic at the moment.
Day here for the Waveriders. Rob's over with the tabs. Gives us a little update. What's happening over there, Rob?
6 for about 100. Jacob Barr, not out 50 up. Looks like he'll be playing lower grade than us this year. So, whacking him over there. But still patient. But the boys are digging in there.
So, beautiful day for cricket down here at Redlands Cricket Club. Tabs playing the 19s finals and the Premier Grade on the main wicket. We saw the Dingoes beat the Northern Kings in semi-final number 1. As Maguire continues here in this second semi-final.
Awful. Absolutely awful, but he'll get 2 for it. Yeah, slight fumble at the end. Gone for the second. There is an appeal. Given. Run out. The throw was good enough. They took on the misfield, and it has resulted in the dismissal, which is really not part of the Waveriders' plan. Sewell is gone. An excellent innings, which was threatening to become something quite monumental, has been nipped.
So
Gold Coast 2 down,
from the outfield,
albeit with the
Naka.
half century on the board.
Yeah,
Bailey
huge
Sewell
wicket
run
there
out.
for the Pirates. And they don't care how they get him. They'll be happy to see the back of Bailey Sewell. And 2 down now, the Waveriders.
He'll be replaced by number 12 for the Waveriders, Sam Willis.
Sam Willis, the
Unfortunate
new man
dismissal
at the
there for
crease,
the Gold Coast
averaging
Waveriders.
40
Brilliant
so
fielding
far
in
this
the
year.
outfield there by Isham
I should
Naka.
point out,
That's the second wicket down now for the Gold Coast Waveriders. We're in the 8th over.
we're trying not to compete with Glenn Hazlitt here, so apologies for the double information. But another player claimed by Rob, the Gold Coast coach. He will not let a Gold Coast player step onto this field without being claimed. Maguire. And that's about as good a delivery as you want first. Just give them, yes, it was a half volley, but there was no way that Willis was going to show any ambition there.
Looks like he's got a nice in-swinger, Maguire.
I see a bit of Mackay and Tini in his bowling action. Sort of front on, the left arm staying up and then the whipping through of the right arm. Pushing back, he's not as wide as Ntini, but he does push that ball back into the right hander a little.
Great channel from Maguire and a great set for the Pirates. They'll be happy with that one. Sewell in the sheds, new man at the crease, and the score at 2:51 after 8 overs stand.
So 2 for 51 after 8. I mean, they're clearly going to clear 100. On track for 150.
So the last batsman to depart there for the Gold Coast Waveriders, Bailey Sewell, I should say, Bailey Sewell. He scored 19 off 23. Thomason now coming in, the Bayside Pirates, to bowl his second over.
So much nicer side-on bowling action for Flynn Thomason, who continues from the
At the
northern
end of the 8th over, Gold Coast Waveriders 2 for 51. 2 wickets down for 51.
Sam Willis, excellent technique, the young right-hander.
Singh currently on 14 not out. And Sam Willis yet to score.
Just an amazing 78 runs in the game against the Rockets earlier this campaign. Made a few from him today, the Waveriders.
Nicely tucked off the hips. It's beaten the fielder. They should get a comfortable 2. They might even try to force the error for 3. No, that was ambitious commentating. Good throw. Excellent throw from the outfield. As Rob leaves us, and the drums take over on Peter Bird's oval.
Thank you. Appreciate the insight there from Rob Mill. Great bloke, great club man for the Gold Coast Dolphins.
It's important to have that glue in our, or any kind of cricket club really, see Australia wide. Shorty delivery that didn't bounce. It was well played by Singh down to third man, fielded by Maguire. And Thomason concedes just the single. And Willis will face his first delivery from this end. Sorry, Sam. You? Elliot. There we go.
Well, it's early days, Dan, but from what you've seen so far, what do you think the par total is here for the Waveriders?
Look, they need 150, I think. Now, particularly what we saw, I think the Richard Gretton grounds are a bit smaller, but I still think 150 is their aim. Full and wide, that sounded like an edge and it's been given. That was a very ambitious slash outside the off stump. The footwork wasn't really there. Not a great ball from Thomason, but it did move away from Willis, and it was an extravagant shot and some fairly safe keeping from Braden Laffin behind the stumps. That's a third wicket down for the Waveriders, and you'd have to think that the Pirates have just potentially knocked 20 runs off the total.
Yeah, huge wicket for the Pirates, and the Waveriders, who have been the dominant team this whole competition, on the back foot here, 3 down. And Flynn Thomason, the all-rounder, key wicket there with Sam Willis gone early, and I think you're right, Dan, 20 or 30 runs saved there for the Pirates.
So Tom Whitney is the new batter arriving at the crease. That's what new batters do, they arrive at the crease. But hey, I just thought I'd spell it out for you. But coming in under a little bit of pressure, your number 5 normally doesn't want to be there in the first half of the innings. You'd like to see the top 4 carry it through so that he can play more of a finisher role. Doesn't have that luxury today as the build
down in the 9th over.
Yeah, so a lot of pressure falling on the shoulders of Ashvir Singh here. Northern District product.
There, it's Tom Whitney wearing number 5. Tom Whitney
to stand up here for the Waveriders and be the backbone for this innings.
Thomason, tail up. Tail up so high, he was able to try a short delivery. Whitney didn't show any pain when it hit him, but he just had a little bit of a waddle for a single.
Fielded at fine leg there by Connor Affini. We saw him bowl a phenomenal spell in the senior side last week.
We were calling him Affini last week because we were given the P before the H, but it turns out it's the H before the P. So whether it's Affini or Affini, he's within range. If we say it wrong, he can correct us. Wide again, called wide this time. Last time he tried that, he got a wicket, so why not?
They'll take every run they can get at this point. Waveriders, now their extra delivery. 150 about par, we think, from here. We saw 125 chased down in the 18th over, semi-final number 1 on this wicket earlier today, folks. Thomason in again. We hear a huge 6 crash into the clubhouse on field number 1. He's diving for protection here on field 2 in the combox.
Not quite that big on the old Peter Bird's Oval field. That's Peter Bird's Oval. Great middle-order batsman for Australia in the 1960s. I'm sure you remember.
56 after 9 overs.
So Ashvir Singh, 17 off 16. Had a great tournament.
And
Averaging
continuing
48.
from the southern end for the
High score of 72.
Bayside Pirates is Zach McGuire.
And the
for his
Waveriders
third
all
over.
have high batting averages because they've just had an outstanding tournament. McGuire to continue from this end. And for future reference, Connor Arpany, so you pronounce his surname. Bowled excellent leg spin for the Pirates last week in the seniors. That looked like it was going to be a big full toss, and then both dipped and swung in the end. Very well kept out by Whitney.
Yeah, really liking Zach McGuire here in the Peter Burge end into his third over. Hasn't really got the rewards that he deserves so far in this campaign, but it's a great spell so far here for the Pirates in this crucial semi-final.
While keeping it full, played obviously into the leg side, but beautifully into the gap. That's going to beat both fielders, and it hits one of the cones at wide mid-on. That's probably the loveliest shot we've seen in this match so far. Excellent boundary.
Yeah, Ashby is seeing classy right-hand batsman, and he just lent into the in-swing there from McGuire and turned it onto a vacant mid-wicket. There's no protection there, and this outfield is lightning green.
Well, he split mid-on and mid-wicket. It was just perfectly placed into the gap, which is usually left, to be fair. McGuire with a bit of pace. It's just going to clear the fielder at point. Played not very securely. In fact, he's going to get a bound. No, he's not going to get a boundary. That's fielded very well, and a lovely throw in from the fence. That's a good 65-metre throw, that one. But a kind of a moral victory for McGuire.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in the comeback from that previous glorious flick through mid-wicket from Singh. Adds 2 to his total, and the battle continues here.
Another one up, obviously. I think the pattern's been set. If you bowl into Singh's pads, he'll play you beautifully through the onside. If you keep it outside off, maybe even a 5th or 6th stump line, it looks a lot less sure.
Yeah, it looks like McGuire's got it swinging both ways, so quite a skillful portfolio on show here from McGuire. Young bowler with a toolkit, being able to swing it both ways, he'll be bound for a good career.
Good length delivery. Very calmly played by Singh into the offside.
Well, he's got a bit of a Jimmy Anderson about him, McGuire, I reckon.
Good call.
You said McGuire, and you said Natini. I've said Anderson. Either of those, if he's half as good as either of those, he's be happy with his career, that's for sure.
Well, he's on track for 900 wickets if you combine those two. Yeah, not quite side on enough to be Anderson for mine. Good field placing to put Thomason in at that short cover position to make sure they can't just tap and run. So the end of a fairly good over from McGuire, just the one ball straight onto the pads, which was gloriously struck through mid-on, wide mid-on. But
So
apart
the
from that,
halfway
most of the
mark
runs
of their
conceded
innings.
had an element of
Gold
luck.
Coast Waveriders currently
Yeah,
sitting
absolutely,
at 3
Dan.
for
We're at the
64,
halfway
3
point
for
now
64 after
of
10 overs for the
the Gold
Waveriders.
Coast Waveriders
Not out batsman
innings.
Ashby Singh on 18 and Tom Whitney, the captain, on 7. Once again, 3 for 64 after 10 overs.
Scores at 64 after 10 overs. So halfway through, and Dan's called 150 as par, and I'm backing that in as well.
Way
And that
down
is-
the leg side. Oh, sorry. I forgot that I handed over.
Wayward delivery there, 5 wides down the leg side. And that is
Glenn
costly
Thomas
for the bowling
for the
side.
Bayside Pirates. Glenn Thomason's 3rd over.
So Thomason adept as a short cover fielder. Not so adept at coming out back for a spell after.
Huge wides on the leg side there, and that is costly in this format. 5 wides. That's a better delivery, challenging the outside edge. And that'll run away for 4. It beats the man at 3rd man. So 9 runs coming off the first
First ball.
ball, legal ball of this over, Dan.
At least Thomason will take encouragement from that. It was well guided down by Singh, so you know, a good one-day thaw in the sense that if you can guide into that gap, it's usually unprotected. But Thomason will take heart.
Yeah, that's it. That's the kind of line you look for as the skipper challenging the outside edge on that 4th, 5th stump line. And it's swung late, and it's a full toss. Thought it might have carried to the man at short cover, but it must have just bounced before him. Great swing there from Thomason.
It was just out of camera shot, but you're right, it didn't fall very far short of the short cover fielder at all.
So a full toss, a low full toss, but it did swing late, which kind of threw Singh.
Late swing with the ball with no seam is impressive.
Worked around the corner there by Singh. He's just straight onto the pads, Thomason. And Arpini, fine leg, does the mopping up and keeps it to 2. So again, another bowler for the Pirates that's able to swing it both ways. Saw a late outswinger and full toss the ball before, and that one with a late in-swing onto the pads of Singh, but he was able to work that one away. He has so well so far this innings. And that's a better line. Defends that one just backward of point. And Whitney at the non-striker's end calls him through for a single down.
And Thomason just rolled the fingers on that delivery slightly. It was a clever slower ball. And I suppose a batsman of a certain experience can spot that kind of variation, but they've still got to play it.
Yeah, we see him passing the ball into his bowling hand late in his run-up, which suggests he's fiddling with changes of pace. Clever one-day short format bowling here. Oh, and you just can't bowl there. Glorious shot by the Waveriders skipper. Thomason straight onto his pads, and there's no fielder there. He whipped that backward of square, and another boundary for the Waveriders. Glorious shot by Whitney.
Now, normally I'd call that a seam-up delivery, and if he's got an actual in-swing, it would have swung into the pads. A ball with no seam, I genuinely don't know how it's going to behave. It might be more like a soccer ball where the swing is inconsistent. It might be a case of trying to control the Jabalani for the bowlers out there today.
That was a handful, wasn't it? The Jabalani with that taken out. The pads again. Can't get that on it this time. The Waveriders skipper, but they get through for a leg bye. And that'll conclude the 11th over. Waveriders 3 for 82, 81 rather. They run a drink now. So take the power surge at any time, the Waveriders. Pretend they have 2 overs up their sleeve.
The Gold Coast Waveriders, they take 17 off the over.
Pirates only have 2 men outside the ring.
11 overs now, the Waveriders 3 wickets down for 81. 3 for 81, not out batsman Ashby is second on 25. Tom Whitney, the captain, on 12.
I think we're just trying to work out our audio.
Change of bowling
this and
here.
want to send us a message.
Well, the Pirates
We
coming
think
in
we
from
can
the southern
just
end.
be heard
Here's
over
your
Glenn
car.
Haswell on the microphone, but if it's too confusing and you'd rather we weren't all talking at once, please let us know.
Fierce thing, 25 off 21 deliveries. Beautiful partnership here with skipper Tom Whitney. Rocks back on the back foot there. It's the man out on the ring at point, and it's a dot. Looks like there's a change of ball there, but this is the issue factor. Beautiful off spinners.
Using the wrists to bowl off spin as well. It's more of a Murali style with the hand.
And he gets on one knee and sweeps that one over square leg, and it'll run away for 4. Beautiful shot, Ashby Singh. Big sweep with the spin, and that's another boundary. Glorious shot there.
I think most spinners are taught that if you're going to drop it on the half volley, you've got to get it up above the eye line and get a bit of overspin. That one, it wasn't quite a dart, but it still wasn't really flighted at all. And Whitney knew exactly what the length of that ball was going to be. Read it early, acted accordingly as they've sent a second fielder onto the leg side. There's now a deep square leg and a deep mid wicket.
Ishan Nakar, and he bounced back. He's got protection on that leg side now. Looks like it's coming out of the hand nicely for the off spinner. Meets that one on the full. Shveer Singh works it around the corner and they're coming back for two. Great throw by the man on the fence in square leg, but they get through comfortably for two. That was a rocket from the man on the boundary there.
That was Kobe McGuire. I believe they are related. Both came up from New South Wales maybe 5-6 years ago, played for a few clubs at junior level.
And again, that one a bit quicker through the air. Singh can't work that one past the man who's in tight there at short mid wicket.
Even when he darts it, there's still revs on the ball.
You can see movement in the air, beautiful drift pushing into a breeze. That one's a bit shorter and he beats the outside edge. Singh rocked back and tried to work that one out to the sweeper at cover. But it's plain a miss and that's a dot, which concludes the 12th over. The score creeping close to 100, it's 3 for 87.
But still, for Nakar to concede, I think, just the 6 runs off that over, that's an excellent result. One run a ball for an off
So
spinner.
6 runs
And
off
even
12
that
over there
final
for the Gold
delivery,
Coast Waveriders.
yes, that one
12
was a
overs.
dart, but he got the length
Waveriders
right
are
to
3
beat the
wickets down
outside
for
edge.
87.
But also it was a
3 for 87
variation
up
because
12.
he hadn't been just spearing it all over.
Ashby Singh
It
on
worked.
25 not out.
So
Tom Whitney,
it's
7.
starting to look like a bit of a battle for the Waveriders to get to 150 as opposed to just getting there by right. The big weapon that they have is Dale D'Souza, the Waveriders, who's the leading wicket taker in the competition by some distance. And I believe this is Connor Arpney with his right arm leg spin at the northern end.
Yeah, we saw him last week step up to the senior Pirates side and bowl incredibly well. So him to put in a good spell here, bowling down breeze. Finds his range, but down the wicket comes the skipper and first ball he dispatches to the boundary down the ground and that's a boundary. Glorious shot down the ground by Tom Whitney.
He floated that one up, Arpney, but there was no real intent in it. He just sort of landed it.
That one's a bit shorter and Whitney turns it around the corner. He's got protection back there on the backward square boundary and they settle for 1. So there we see down a classic example. When he put the pressure on the spinner on his first delivery, the next delivery he dragged it, so his confidence is down by putting the pressure on him early in the over. It's a better delivery by Arpney. Singh just turns that one around the corner for a single, but already 6 runs coming off the over, so the spinner's on the back foot here.
He does have a new batter to bowl to now, and just gives him a chance to reset now that he's got one good one.
Tosses that one up. Whitney takes in by uses his feet, but can't beat the man at short cover.
A lot more work in the wrist on that delivery, really worked it.
And that's pitched beautifully by Arpney. That's the kind of length you're looking for.
So maybe what Arpney needs to work on is making sure that he can rip it on his first delivery so he doesn't give away the 3 boundary.
Tosses that one up. Whitney uses his feet and a misfield by Arpney will mean they can get through for a comfortable single. So a good comeback there from the spinner. 7 coming from it and spin in the game here for the Pirates.
Which we know proves successful often in T20 cricket. It was feared that T20 would be the death of spin. Ended up being
Gold
quite the
Coast
opposite.
Waveriders moving along nicely here. 13 overs, the Waveriders are 3 for 96. 3 for 96. Not out batsman Ashby Singh on 33 and Tom Whitney on 18.
Yeah, so spin really has changed, evolved as
And
well over
it's Ishan
time.
Nakar to continue from the southern
Short
end
format
bowling
cricket.
second over.
A lot more of these spinners bowling with a tighter field, stump to stump line. As you see Nakar continue. Whitney defends that one for a dot. So it's a good contest between bat and ball here, Dan.
We haven't talked about, but I think it's Singh on strike at the moment. We haven't talked about Sing's been very steady. We haven't actually talked about his batting for a little while, but he just keeps knocking the ball around, making sure that any loose deliveries go. But yeah, he's quietly accumulating.
That one's shorter and he rocks back. Great fielding by the man on the ring at point, keeps it to a dot.
That's James Puller. Had a bit of a fumbling session down at deep cover before, but was superb there.
It's the kind of support you want in the field as a spinner. Darts that one in. This time it's a cleaner there on the man points. This is tight bowling here by the spinners. They really put a squeeze on here, Bayside Pirate spinners. Crosses that one up, and that is a glorious, glorious shot by the Waveriders skipper. Used his feet beautifully, met it on the pitch, and Whitney struck it straight down the ground for a boundary. That was a convincing shot there.
The fielder at mid-on probably only had 7-8 metres to his left to move, and he was no chance. Just recognised, like, no, I'm not even going to bother chasing that.
So a bit quicker on the return, Nakar, and just works that one out to the cover sweeper for one, Whitney. So the Waveriders batsmen looking a little bit more comfortable the longer they stay out there, Dan.
And Nakar lost his nerve in that over. I mean, there were two deliveries which were basically his attempt at the fast medium. And because it comes through his run-up, I mean, there was no surprise by the time the ball left
runs
the
off
hand.
the over there
Okay,
for
this
Gold
one's going to
Coast
come through
Waveriders.
100. It's not going to turn. It's going to bounce about my
Waveriders
waist.
are 3 for
I think he needs to
102.
work out whether that's the variation
On
he
our
needs.
batsman,
As the
Ashby
power
is
surge is called,
34.
I was just about to say, after he's been pulled up to just one over, but it's
Three for
because of the
102
power
after
surge.
14.
So that boundary as well by Tom Whitney brought up
And it's
100
Morgan
for the
Galvin coming
Waveriders.
back on, number 8. Morgan Galvin
And
for the
thank you
Bayside
to the
Pirates.
panel,
This will be his
the
4th
Canal.
over.
on the chat, who offers support to the Waveriders, and number 5, Carter Pearson for the Bayside Pirates.
First over of the power surge. Full and straight, and the drive can't beat the man. That cover there. We've seen the power surge bring about action consistently throughout this tournament, Dan.
Usually wickets.
Usually in the form of wickets, yes. And that will be something that the Pirates will mind.
And particularly Galvin's been impressive in this innings.
So 3 for 102 here. They wouldn't mind to break this partnership, which is proving to be quite beneficial for the Waveriders. Almost a replay of the ball before, as not quite beat the man there. There's ones either side of him. They're only allowed 2 men out in the power surge, and he's got protection at long off and deep cover. So Galvin called for the power surge.
Flynn Thomason at cover, and there's a fair bit of Flynn to get past.
Same kind of line, so very disciplined fast bowling here. The skipper said, I need you to bowl 5th, 6th stump because we're only going to give you singles at long off or cover. And Galvin has come to the party, and his first 3 deliveries have been spot on, Dan.
It's just a pity. It's still with a 5-4 field. It would be great if one of these leg side fielders, maybe one of the 2 in the ring, could pop over onto the offside and offer just a little bit extra protection.
And he's gone the lofted drive. There is protection there, and that's out. He's picked out the man at long off, and great catch out there on the long off boundary. That's wicket time, and Galvin's got the breakthrough.
Nice
That's
catch
the end of
by Captain Maguire with the Pirates.
Ashveer Singh. It is Ashveer Singh,
And
gone for
Danger Man
34
Ashveer
of
Singh to
29
Parks.
deliveries there.
And his strike rate noticeably
The 15th
slowed down
over.
throughout the innings. And when you do that, that's fine, but you've got to be the batter who then bats through and provides that spine for the innings as Tom Sipple makes his way to the wicket. And for him to get out during the power play, having done all the hard work to get
once
himself
again
set,
in the outfield
is
was
very
Ishant
disappointing.
Dakar,
That's-
taking his second
I'm
catch
not
out
really
there in
sure,
the deep.
given that you
Ishant
only
Dakar it was.
have two fielders
Tom
outside the
Sipple
circle,
now coming in wearing
to
number
pick
6
one
for
of
the
them out
Waveriders.
suggests that he wasn't really thinking about his batting on
And a
that
very
occasion.
handy innings there again
Yeah, and we
for Ashveer
saw
Singh.
another wicket fall in the power surge, Dan. So
I think the fielding team should take the power play to work out when they want to get wickets.
yeah, We've seen the power surge
Ashby is
just
scored
initiate wickets
34 runs
almost
off
every
34.
time in the
Nice
BPL, folks. And great disciplined bowling there from Galvin. He stuck with his line, and Singh had no other option really.
And now that he's shown that he can consistently bowl that line, I still don't think he needs a fourth fielder. In fact, he hasn't got one in, or one fielder has been moved across. Oh, sorry, no, he does still have four on the leg side. I apologise.
Maybe bring the man at fine leg. If you're bowling 5th, 6th stump, it's going to be hard to get it down to fine leg. As Whitney can't beat the man at mid-on. And proving hard to get away here, Galvin.
I'd remove the square leg. You've got the fine leg, you've got the mid-wicket. If the batter's good enough to get it from 5th, 6th stump line through square leg, that's what I'd take out. Make him try something stupid.
Yeah, we'll bring a man into catching somewhere on the offside. Anyway, they've got a wicket and there hasn't been any runs so far, so obviously doing the trick here, Galvin. The Pirates on top in the power surge. Great line again, and Whitney works that one out to the cover sweeper. Just for the single, and that's sloppy. Nobody backing up at the bowler's end, and they get through for another, and they turn that into a 2. So a bit of a shame there, a bit of a sour taste to end that over.
And what's disappointing there is they had one fielder they didn't need in that area, and that fielder then let through an overthrow. So it's kind of a double whammy there. And having said that, I mean, we were being very critical of an over that yielded 1 for 2.
4 up at 15, the Waveriders.
So we're earning our money as commentators by criticising the successful.
Tom Whitney on 25.
That's
Tom Skipper's yet to get on
silly,
the mark.
really, isn't it? So,
But a great spell by Galvin.
It's actually James
His 4
Fuller.
overs just
James Fuller to bowl
providing
his
18
third over,
runs for the Waveriders, and a crucial wicket of Ashby Singh. So a great spell there by Galvin, and that's exactly what they needed. And he's come to the party in the final. That's the pressure, and that's what the best players do there.
Rises to the occasion. If you can do it at this level as well, it's good for the future. Jim Puller, the left-arm spinner, coming on during the power play. Interesting. Lovely.
Stuff to stuff. That is lovely out of the hand, and it is.
And indeed, Michael, looked on the chat. Ashby Singh was indeed Gonski, which is Polish for out.
And Aussie for wicket time. Fuller in again. Got a bit of a Xavier Doherty about him. Uses his feet here. The batsman works that one to the man at square, and they get through for a single.
I think he's a lot classier than Xavier Doherty. Xavier Doherty was a left-arm slow bowler. He wasn't a spin bowler. Slow.
He's got that like similar run-up.
This is more Agar for me.
Drop that one short, and you can't bowl there for a man that's in. And the Waveriders skipper, Tom Whitney, works that away. Backwards square for a boundary. 30 up for him, 110 for the score. Waveriders inside the 16th over. And pressure's on Puller here. Second over of power surge. Well, he's lining up downtown there, and there's cries of LBW from the man at point, which pretty much sums up the quality of the shout. But he was lining up downtown there. Whitney, there's protection at long on and deep mid wicket, but not at square leg, and he steps across his stumps and sweeps that to the vacant backward square boundary for another 4 down.
Yeah, it's just not quite coming out of the hand right for Puller at the moment. I don't think his plans are right. The one he dropped short earlier in the day, but quite clearly just got stuck in the horse. And now it's been a little disappointing for him this over, but I don't think it's his head. I think it's just a hand.
Uses his feet again, skipper, and bunts that down to long on. It'll just be the 1. And quite a productive second over of the power surge there for the Waveriders, and specifically for the captain, Tom Whitney, who's really settling into a big innings here for the Waveriders. Scores at 114 after 16 overs. Just 4 overs to go here for the Waveriders. And the Pirates, the deciding who's going to come in and bowl those final 4 overs. The field spreads, as the power surge ends. And Tom Whitney, 34 off 27, proving the difference here for the Waveriders. So not a bad spell that by Fuller. Tough ass to come back and bowl in the power surge.
Gold Coast Waveriders 4 for 114.
Oh, so he's gone down for the lap sweep there. There's no protection at fine leg.
Tom Whitney on
He just
34.
looked down to try and turn around the corner, but the line was well outside the off stump, and it's a dot. And that's the same kind of line, a lot of drift, but it's a bit too wide there, and the umpire hangs him up. And that's a wide. So he'll bowl that one again. So he's got protection at deep cover, long off, deep square, but not there, and that's a huge hit by the Waveriders skipper. And the cars are in danger there over the fence as that sails onto the main road. Great shot by the captain, Tom Whitney, really finding his range, missed his feet and lofted it over the deep wicket for a maximum. 4 for 120 now, the Waveriders. Tom Whitney really looking like the danger man here for the Waveriders. As I'm joined again by Dan. What do you think, Dan? Did you see that, Sticks?
I didn't, I'm sorry. I was off dealing with technical issues. So I think whatever you said was probably perfect, Ellie.
Yeah, glorious shot. Used his feet and lofted it over the cow corner boundary. And Nakar tossed that one up. Oh, glorious shot. Ishan Nakar. That hurts for the Waveriders. They had their foot on the throat, Pirates, and just loosens their hold on this middle overs period. Waveriders looking to finish strong here. Nakar in again. And Whitney, he's really just gone up a gear here for the Waveriders and looking so comfortable at the crease there.
Yes, Nakar's a bit betwixt and between. He hasn't really tossed it up, and then he hasn't changed the length either. I need to know what his plans are. But Whitney doesn't care what his plans are. He'll just take every run he can get anyway. You are right, he is looking very comfortable.
Keep that mid-wicket region open. He tosses that one up, and that's drifted wide. He used his feet, Sipple, but it drifted away, and that'll go away for buys, I'm assuming. Get through for 2 wides, so yeah.
3.
Well, they got 3 including the wide, yeah. So just carried away with the drift there. A lot of movement in the air, Dan, even for the spinners. Okay, that's a bit quicker, and Sipple didn't quite get to the pitch of it, but the man at mid-off is on the boundary and they get through for 1.
Some good footwork from Sipple. He realises Whitney's on fire, so singles are good enough for him at the moment.
Gets down for the sweep, and they do have protection out there. I was going to say, be interesting to see what he does here on the final delivery, Whitney. Does he farm the strike, or does he go the big maximum and he just got himself to the other end?
I think we've got number 6 at the crease in terms of his order. You don't have to protect the number 6.
It's gone the reverse, and that's out. Absolutely salmon. Stump to stump line bowling there from Nakar. And Sipple flipped his hands around for the reverse and struck on the pads. That's out every day of the week there.
It was simply the wrong shot to play. Nakar did well. That one, he did have a plan. He thought, right, straight, quick, full. Sipple premeditated the shot. That was one where he could have easily just punched it down to long on for a single or maybe turned it round the corner. But he decided to go for glory, went for the reverse sweep. And it all means that he's replaced by Stephen Sims at the crease.
Gold Coast Waveriders.
Yeah, I really loved the way that Tom Whitney's gone about his innings.
17.
Used his feet to get to the pitch to the spinners, worked the ones and twos, and with the boundary options there, he's put them away. Classic cricket batting.
Again, up to 17 overs, the Waveriders 5 for 127.
Whitney's clearly a class act, and Maybe number 5 in the order was a bit low for him, but that's what the Waveriders have decided. And to be fair, if you've won 6 from 6, it's probably not necessary for me to come in and start criticising the batting order.
Yeah. Well, he's been striking at a 150 strike rate this whole tournament, Tom Whitney. Been going along not too badly so far, but he's the kind of guy you want in for the last 3 overs. And the Waveriders have not only got him in, they've also got him on 42 off 31 deliveries. So
we have a 4th spinner into the attack today. This is Carter Pearson. The Canal, this is for you. Carter is on.
Carter Pearson plays his cricket here at Redlands. Loves to rip it.
This is the ground that the 3rds and 4ths play on. So if he's not familiar with it yet, he probably will be.
Just drag that one down. And they do have a protection out there. There was shouts to catch it, but the sweeper on the mid-wicket boundary has met it on the first bounce.
He landed 10 metres in front of it. He just did everything he needed to do out there. Zach Maguire.
And that brings left-handed Timms on strike. And a bit quicker through the air, but Timms works it onto the onside to the only man on the ring there for a dot. He would have had a run either side of him, but he kicked out the man. So really pushing it through here. And the new spinner tosses that one up a bit more, and that's out. He's bowled him. Glorious spin bowling. Toss that one up a bit more, Carter Pearson. And Timms, looking to go downtown, played all around it and lost his furniture down.
I must say the first 2 deliveries that Pearson bowled, I thought, okay, we don't have a leg spin in here, we just have someone who rolls it a bit out of the hand and just sees where it lands. Then he pulled out a proper leg spinning delivery, tossed it up above the eye line. You can see his hand just put a lot more work on that delivery. And for some reason, Timms started, as my junior coach used to say, sucking clouds. There was no way that his head was watching that ball onto the bat. And, well, he makes, unfortunately for him, a well-deserved trudge back to his team marquee. We don't have sheds here, we have marquees, which is better or worse depending on your perspective. But it does mean that Adam Kerr comes to the crease and he will have the ball from Pearson spinning away from him. I recommend that Pearson keep thinking like a leg spinner and not just a batsman who spins it occasionally.
Great call that, Dan. Adam Kerr yet to really get underway in the runs department so far this year. We're going to need him to knock a few away here. Waveriders. He's in the middle with his skipper. We're seeing them like, I was going to say beach balls, but I said that a few too many times last week, Dan.
Let's go watermelons.
Watermelons. It is a beautiful summer's day here. It's Pearson in again. Tosses that one up. And Kerr uses his feet and knocks it down to the man on the mid-on boundary, and they get through for 1. He gets his skipper on strike, Tom Whitney.
And for people of a certain vintage, it's probably a little bit jarring to see a player named Whitney who can bat.
Tosses that one up and uses his feet and kicks out the man on the boundary at mid-off. So not a bad set list so far by Pearson. 1 for 2 so far. Not bad for your 18th over. He drags that one short and Kerr sort of slaps it out to the man on the cover boundary. Just a one again there.
That's some good feeling from Puller out at deep point. He charged into that, and even though the throw was a little bit too flat and got 2 bounces to the keeper, it was just his intent to get into the ball. He basically scared the batters out of
Right, for 18 overs now. Gold Coast Waveriders.
Yeah, well, when the skipper tossed the ball to his leg spinner in the 18th over, he probably didn't think that he'd only get 4 runs from it. And he'll take that every day of the week. A wicket as well, so 1 for 4 there from Pearson. Great set in the 18th over.
31. The Waveriders 6 for 131 after 18 overs.
44 off 33, striking at 133, 6 boundaries and a maximum. And what the scorecard doesn't say is he's looking fantastic.
It's a bit stylish. Thomason to finish off.
Steaming in down Breeze, and there's a man on the ring and the run out was on. He didn't even try to get in, Adam Kerr, but couldn't pick it, couldn't hit the wickets.
That was Carter Pearson, just come off a great over, nearly pulled off a run out afterwards.
He only had 1.5 stumps to aim at the non-striker's end, couldn't hit him, and that brings Whitney on strike. So a little bit of confusion here.
I think they're looking at fielders, number of fielders outside the circle. There's third man fine leg, there's a deep square leg, there's a deep cover. This seeing there's one I can't see around the sight screen. We're just situated slightly behind it.
Yeah, they got a third man on the fence as well, so that would have been 6 out and a no ball. So great shout. I think the man at third man picked that. Full and straight, and Whitney flips it around the corner. They run hard, but they'll settle for one. Great fielding out there again by Connor Pearson.
It was full and straight and slower as well. That was another roll in the finger. So I think as Thomason progresses, he will need to develop more variations. But for a teenager, at least having that one reliable variation is good.
I've been impressed with Thomason so far. At 5 wides down the leg side, he's very good. That's a great length and great depth bowling by Thomason. Always love seeing Bucks bowl the ball down Breeze. They seem to just get a little bit taller in their run-up.
There used to be an argument between Glenn McGrath and Brett Lee where McGrath would want to bowl down Breeze and he'd say, yeah, I'm slower than Brett, so I need the breeze. And Steve Waugh and Ricky Ponting never bought it. He was like, no, Brett's faster than you, he's getting the breeze.
Yeah, I think as a batsman, you'd probably prefer Glenn McGrath bowling down Breeze than Brett Lee.
I'd probably just rather go play tennis or something. Really.
Yeah, or be in the comm box calling it. Thomason in again. Full and straight, and he's cleaned that one up, and it's cleared the man at long on, and it'll run away from a boundary. So at first we thought maybe a top edge. No, it's gone the full distance, and Kerr has picked the bones out of that, and that's gone for 6. So at first I thought he was going to be in with a chance of being out, but instead it's gone for a 6 down.
Well, he didn't get all of it. It was a little bit off, not the edge of the bat, but certainly the side. But no, Pearson was closest to it. He called it 6, no reason to doubt it.
Yeah, certainly didn't sound like it came out of the screws on that occasion. And he backed away and whacked that one wide of mid-off. He sort of slapped it really, a bit of a forehand more than anything.
Well, Kerr's shown his hand now. The bowlers know that he's going to back away to leg, which means that if the bowlers are good enough and they can sneak it inside the offside wide line, they, well, it's a good dot ball if they can control it. The question is whether Kerr can do the back away and then the double play to get back across to full of an easy ball.
Yeah, I much prefer the way Whitney's approached things. Batting at its finest here in short format cricket, and you see it rock back and lock that one over square leg. Classic full shot, classic batting from Whitney, and that brings up his 50. Glorious batting by the Waveriders skipper.
I've seen worse relations bring up a half century, but I mean, even though that was a hit, that was classy. He led the length, maybe didn't quite get the back foot across, but was able to get his feet in the right position, was perfectly balanced. And there wasn't a lot of muscle in that. There was a lot of time. It sounded sleepy. There is a mark here. I'm not sure it's a official mark or just someone, a fan who decided to set up shop. But with 1 over to go, Tom Whitney's batted beautifully, not just through the middle overs. I think he came in about the 8th over. But he's now showing he's got finishing skills as well. He isn't to finish off. This will be interesting.
Leg spin and a bowl the final over here for the Pirates. Pitches it, and Kerr uses his feet. They do have a man on at mid-on. He runs around and just keeps it to 1, so not a bad shot that by Kerr.
Some good fielding by Dylan Henderson down here at deep long on. Had a tricky bounce to contend with at the end, but he was short. He was very short.
That brings the skipper back on strike. drags it short, and that is out of here. Glorious, glorious shot. Tom Whitney, back-to-back sixes for him. That is a huge six.
There's something to be admired about a batter who can play a pretty shot. It doesn't have to. If his team needs 6 runs, he'll just go the squat. I don't know how many mosquitoes he killed playing that shot, but that was just pure brutality, which I respect more because he can also play the well-timed shot over square legs. So there's a few strings to the bow of Tom Whitney.
We've seen batsmen time and time again throughout this competition, Dan, try to play the unconventional, cheeky, pretty shots, but Tom Whitney has just played classic cricket shots throughout his whole innings.
Until that.
Until that. I feel like if a leg spinner bowls you a half tracker, you do whatever you can to get it over the rope, and that's exactly what he did there. Great batting, Tom Whitney. It's a better length, and Whitney tries to lock that one, but just gets a leading edge and chips it over the man, cover on the ring, and they get through for 2.
Awkward throw from Arpany just at the feet of Pearson. But again, loft away, final over. If he gets out now, that's a shame, but he's done his work.
Tough ask here. Pearson tosses that one up and meets it on the full, uses his feet, and wowee, Tom Whitney has cleared everyone and put that at the Peter Village Oval.
We don't need to exaggerate. It did land there, just to the right of the sight screen. There is a permanent fixture, a wooden fixture with a pointed roof where the score is set. It cleared that. It's landed, it must be 20 metres past the boundary, so that would be a good, at least 80 metre hit, probably pushing 90.
Tell you what, there's not many leg spinners in the world, Dan, that will put their hand up to bowl the last over of a T20, so a real tough ask here for Pearson. And 2 maximums coming off it so far. He meets it again, and that's coming towards us. Oh, and it's got to catch a bit off, and it bounces off him for a boundary. And that went like a rocket, Dan, it has to be said.
Oh, that was flat to kind of Arpany, and what happened in the end was just to the left of the camera, he dropped the pace and hit the ground and spilled over forward. It probably would have flat batted for 6 had he not gone in the way, so given how fast it was travelling, that's saving 2.
It's gone head high about 60, 70 metres there, so Whitney well and truly in here and lining him up, and that's a full toss, and he's put that one over the square leg boundary for another Dorothy.
And it's a no ball.
And a no ball, so really falling apart here in this final oval. The Pirates are definitely not the finish that they were after, Dan.
I think Braden Rafford's made a mistake with his bowlers here. I think bowling not just a leg spinner, but not a frontline leg spinner in the final over. I think he's just got his bowling changes wrong.
And Whitney now 75 of 40 deliveries. And he's met that one on the half volley. That's another boundary to round out the innings. And the Waveriders make their way to 176 from their 20 overs. 72, sorry. Thanks to an incredible job by their captain, Tom Whitney.
That's one of the best innings live we've seen in this tournament. And in terms of the effect it's had on the match, it already looks like a match-winning innings. This is a dangerous thing to say halfway through the game. Early in the innings, the Waveriders looked like 180 was on the cards. Then it suddenly looked like it was going back to about 130. Whitney dragged that innings, got about 130, because it wasn't just the ones he scored, the pressure on the field as he was able to get some sundry battles to the table as well. Superb captain's innings. And I realise captain is about more than his performance, but I think we've got an indication there as to why they made him captain.
And well-deserved music there for a magnificent innings there from Tom Whitney. Tom Whitney, top scoring for the Gold Coast Waveriders. He scored 79 runs, not out of 41 deliveries.
We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with the run
at
chase.
The end of their innings, the Waveriders finished 6 for 176, 6 for 176 for the Waveriders. Therefore, the Pirates are trying 177 to win.
176. Top scorers we've said a few times. Tom Whitney was 79 off 41. Ashvir Singh played well in the early overs to get 34. Apart from that, not too much. Sewell looked at the beginning until he managed to get himself one out. For the bowlers, Galvin was excellent bowling in the power play. He finished with 1 for 18. Similarly, Fuller called some wayward deliveries early and then pulled it back to only go for 7 and 1 for 21. Unfortunately, after he was underused, and maybe it would have been a better choice as a leg spinner than Pearson in the final over. But it is a big ask for the Pirates. They'll need 177 to win. We will be back with you in about 10-15 minutes to see if the Bayside Pirates can overcome the Gold Coast Waveriders to get a spot against the Darling Dingoes in the Under-19 Men's Brisbane Premier League Grand Final.
Could anyone else do that part?
Okay, I'm going to go unplug this and then we're going to...
Or did it not work in the end?
Tricky ranks. So, it works better, like right now I'm pretty sure that what we say can either not be heard again.
Oh, really?
So, you heard, I'm projecting a lot to the I'm not exactly sure how it works going on. This entire operation right against the so that I can take the extension and see if we can just connect it by one. And let's just try. So, do you mind if I just unplug that first and get it back so we don't hit? So, I'm not very good at determining the order of tasks. So, now, I've just knocked the camera, so remind me to fix that up.
Is it already out? Oh, they're bowling. I was like,
Yeah, no innings break anymore. It's all oh, that's the extension. Great. Yeah, it's like that, doesn't it? Yeah, the best result for us is the quickest run chase you've ever seen in your life, or bowled out for 80 in the 10th over, and then we can go get some grub.
I would almost be tempted to just move it into...
Inside?
Yeah.
Flirting with danger. I reckon so.
Can we try and move this?
Oh, that is it. No, but it's pegged, so... I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's pegged. You just need to take it. Oh, it came out in the end. Yeah, do it that way. I find that thing is not a bad way. So, it should be loose stuff. Shut up, David, as well. So, I've got these two. So I've got these. Oh, fuck! You're an idiot, damn it. I did not realise it was six. But I was going underneath number 5. Okay. Now, this is a little game we like to call just doing our best. So, I'll go get that in a moment.
I wouldn't mind trying to get that over.
Over that way?
Oh, over the fence, because we're not even going to be in the shade here.
Yes. Well, just practical marquee here. Not a marquee, it's flag.
Do you want to just lift that?
Yes. Okay, now I'll try to keep it up so you can... Oh, if you can shorten the leg, you pull out that pin that's in front of you, lift up the leg. Yeah, okay. This is a supreme act of coordination of which I'm not capable. Brilliant. Well done. Now, I still think it's cheating, but at least now it's going to go over a fence to blow away. And also, okay, I've got 3 pigs. How about I do the ones over the fence and you do the ones back here?
I don't know how I'm going to go getting them in. I reckon they've
Use the hammer or something?
Yeah.
So, mate, the mantra no news is good news. Is that okay? It all worked well?
Okay. It was certainly better.
Yeah.
And what was happening, as I was listening through the cans, when we spoke, as long as we projected, like talking like I am now, then we can be heard over you. This is probably all going very clearly through the frog box at the moment. So what we're doing now is I'm just trying something different with our microphones, because if our microphones work, what you're doing should not be a problem. The fail-safe is doing what these two did in the first game, which is just standing beneath the frog box and talking. Because there's probably someone listening right now who says, you're clearer now than you were when you were using a microphone. In fact, the comments probably just come through.
How about that for a final over, hey?
Well,
interesting call to bring the leggy on top.
Oh, it was the wrong call. It was wrong. That was just a captaincy error.
Thankless start for him.
And am I right in thinking Pearson's not a front line spinner? He's sort of not a part-time bowler, but he's very much a batting all-rounder.
Look, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. But that's teamwork.
Yeah. So the Waveriders have been the best team so in under-19s? Yeah.
Well,
the result
Ashby has been brilliant.
Oh, yeah?
His strike rate's huge and he's scored 350.
Oh, wow.
The 1 week they left him out of the team of the week was a mistake. They actually made us mention that on the Instagram.
I thought that with that sort of score, Pirates sort of struck into this.
It's first versus fourth, so first is supposed to. But that was, it looked like they were going to get 180, then it was 130, and then Whitney just went, no, I'm dragging this. Yeah.
Well, the halfway mark, I took 160, I think I said, and they just blasted it.
Yep.
All right, good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry for creating a tangle there.
The good news is these aren't things in it, which means they can run around and that's my life, and at least if I can actually record it.
Yeah.
I'll keep listening through the video. Thank you. Look, this is the you realised I was doing something else until you just took over the call.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that. It's not the long-term plan, but I appreciate it.
He's about to get underway here for
No, I
the
knocked the
Bayside
camera, so let me
Pirates
fix it
innings,
up.
chasing the gargantuan total of 6 for 176. The opening batsman, Braden Laffin, number 2, is the captain. He'll be supported out there by Covey Maguire in 10.
Are you able to check the stream on one of our phones? Has mine gone off or is it still there? How's the angle with the camera?
Opening bowling here for the Gold Coast Waveriders, number 11, Yukinder Singh.
To the left.
To the left, thank you. Hang on, I've overcorrected there. How about now? Oh, turn the chat off because it changes the camera position. So.
Oh, okay. No, that's perfect.
Good. Okay.
We need to. You right? The mics aren't working. This on.
Welcome back to the second semi-final of the Under-19 Brisbane Premier League here at Fred Kratzmann Oval, the number 2 oval at Redlands. And the bowler is Yukinder Singh. Thank you for your patience while we get ourselves up. Yukinder Singh has had a good tournament for the Waveriders. Is that good tournament for the Waveriders? I'm just going to stick on repeat because it's they're undefeated. It's been a superb team performance. And they are 6 from 6 and looking to make it 7 from 7 and book their spot in the final against the Darling Dingoes. Elliot Lyons with me. My name is Daniel Viles.
Pleasure to be with you folks. As you can see, strays down the leg side.
Some excellent keeping from, I believe that's Charlie Self. I'll correct myself if that's not quite the case. But he kept for the Waveriders on day 1 if it is Self, and then had some other duties, but back in the side for the finals.
Braden Laffin and Toby Maguire opening up for the Bayside Pirates. glorious stroke there. Fell just short of the man at cover. They get through for a single. They're underway, Bayside Pirates.
Good fielding by Lachlan Schubert in the number 8 shirt. Out of cover, and for the left-hander, he has been sent back to, he was going out to deep bovine, and then he got moved in 3 different directions before finally ending up at deep square leg.
Missing Switch Grammar School student.
Oh, poor guy. I thought he had talent and poise, and then I find out he's a grammar school student. I feel for him.
So plays for Western Suburbs. That makes you feel any better, Dan?
Much better, much better. Lots of good clubs around, but West is definitely one.
Taken 6 wickets so far in this competition and an average of just under 20. Behind that, the Waveriders.
And a beautiful cover drive over mid-wicket on that occasion, came right off the inside edge of the bat. Maybe didn't run as hard as they would like to have. But Kobe Maguire now at the non-striker's end. And as Elliot said, Braden Laffin, captain and keeper and opener, who's doing the Alex Stewart role. Into the offside, it's lofted over cover. No footwork, it's landed just inside the fence, or inside the boundary, I should say, maybe 3-4 metres. But an extraordinary shot where he just swatted it over the offside, used a fair bit of forearm muscle, and that concludes the first over, which is probably not all that bad for the Pirates, but there is a fair bit of bowling to get through. Dale D'Souza being held back. He's in the number 13 shirt. He was at mid-on for the previous over, now he's at short third. And it is Charlie Self keeping in the number 4 shirt.
Nice start there for Bayside Pirates.
9 runs coming off the first over, Dan. They're going to need to keep that run rate going, the Pirates, if they want to chase down the 177 required to get themselves into the grand final against the Darling Dingoes this afternoon.
Bowler for the Gold Coast
You can take over early while I check the technical stuff.
Absolutely, so the score at number 9, first over. Huge in-swinger to the left-hander, that is a great first rock, and not one that you want to be facing first ball of a new bowler. Maguire, left-hander, with a wake-up call. Yeah, it's an incredible first delivery from the new bowler. Is that the captain as well? Backing up his tremendous batting efforts in the first innings. Glorious cover drive there, just wide from there and a bit off, and they get through for 1. So Maguire, good shape. Nice off drive there, and Tom Whitney, how about this? Another player that can offer both bat and ball capabilities. Some incredible talent in the Waveriders stocks. I love to see a first look in place, early overs of a T20, aggressive stuff, and why not with 176 on the board. Back of a length, the man turns it around on the onside, forward of square leg, and they get through for a single.
Elliot, Tom Whitney, the fastest bowler we've seen on show today here, true or false?
Looking pretty sharp from where we're sitting down, and I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in the middle.
He looks a proper all-rounder, Tom Whitney.
Yeah, I'm astonished by how many players can offer incredible value, both bat and ball. Tom Whitney, this is incredible.
Yeah, he's sharp. He's sharp. Dale D'Souza's the one who's got the wickets so far in this tournament for the Gold Coast. I think he's up to about, 13, 14, something of that nature, averaging over 2 a game. But I'm interested to see the Waveriders work as a team bowling unit to see who sets up for the others.
So, astonishingly, Whitney yet to take a wicket so far in this competition. Makes me think maybe he's carrying some sort of an injury of sorts, perhaps. Because this is phenomenal.
Or has been, clearly no longer with an injury. So. But yeah, you're right. If he hasn't bowled so far, it's either been the most disciplined of surprise weapons, or he's only just come back to full fitness. We shall have to inquire in that massive 7-minute gap we have between games later.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he was injured. He's had a previous ripper of a previous year. Tom Whitney playing for Wests in the grade comp. Pulls him through for one, but he's been sent straight back. So we've seen plenty of mix-ups today here at Redlands Cricket Club. I don't know what's going on at the non-strikers end there. Called him through for one.
I think Laffin really just wanted to get the scoreboard moving because he'd been tied down with some excellent bowling from Whitney. What he possibly didn't take into account was just how far back Kobe Maguire had been pushed.
The Bayside Pirates are no wicket.
So just the 2 runs coming off the second over there.
Braden Laffin on 8 not
For
out.
the Pirates.
Kobe Maguire 2 not out. No wicket
Great
for him.
opening partnership here for the Waveriders between Singh and Whitney. Brings that one back into Laffin.
We have Jupiter Singh continuing the
Just
attack
good
here
back
from
of
the
the
southern
length.
end. For the Gold Coast
Laffin
Waveriders,
wasn't
Jupiter
too
Singh in his second
bothered
over.
by it. There's plenty of pace in this Waveriders outfit. Plenty of pace. And more than we've seen from the other 3 semi-finalists, I dare say. Beautifully kept out. It was an excellent Yorker from Singh and well dug out by Laffin. Not just dug out, but turned to square leg for a well taken single.
Yeah, he's had a good campaign so far, Singh. They're going to need him to stand up here today. A couple of early wickets will be huge for the Waveriders. Gee, I love seeing a slipping play down. We haven't seen that very often.
He was waiting for that one. It's gone on the ground. It's racing away in the outfield. Brilliant fielding. Brilliant fielding at straight hit. Was able to keep it in. And a good couple of runs saved there from Stephen Timms on the boundary.
Tell you what, that seemed to gain speed as it rolled towards the boundary.
Well, it's as I said, the field is crowned, so it's also downhill. Timms, I thought it had beaten him, but thankfully as the ball was gaining speed, so was Timms in the number 10, and for him to flick it back in, superb effort. Gives you a clue as to why the Waveriders were minor premiers. Cut him in half. Excitement behind the stumps. Japinder Singh basically stood and looked at everyone and say, hey, you're making me look bad.
Which is unusual for a fast bowler.
Yeah, the fast bowler doesn't appeal. But he looks to have a good level temperament, Japinder Singh. So far he's just been going about his business. That one, he bowled a foolish delivery, got driven down the ground, thought, okay, I'll pull one back, see how you go. Kind of worked.
It's a great length. First class line as well.
Good fielding at mid-on from D'Souza as the ball was pushed to him. Impressive over from Singh, still going. But they are ticking the scoreboard over. The boundary's not coming, but at least for the Pirates, they're not stagnant. At least not while Singh's bowling. They're a little bit tied down by Whitney at the other end thus far. Good length from Singh, just turned into the leg side. It will only be one as it's kept by Sam Willis, just running around the square leg. So the end of the over, Singh has bowled in the power play superbly. No convincing shots, certainly. There wasn't a boundary, was there?
No, they certainly look a first-class outfit, this Waveriders team.
After 3 overs now.
And with their first 11
Bayside Pirates are no wickets,
in finals
17
contention
runs,
as well,
17 after
in
3
the main
overs.
round.
In comparison at the same
They
time,
look like they're
Gold Coast
franchise,
Waveriders
competitive
were no
franchise,
wickets
the
for 22.
Waveriders.
The other thing the Waveriders have done well is they didn't just stick to the Brisbane grade comp, they plundered, in a good way, the Gold Coast comp. My opinion of that comp has risen sharply.
Whoa!
Whitney continues. Oh, that's a beautiful bouncer, not just because of the pace and bounce, but because of the direction. That's a good old-fashioned bumper where it goes at the throat rather than at the head.
Tell you what, that is some serious wheels bowling down breeze. The Waveriders captain, and again we see another all-rounder carry the momentum and confidence from one discipline into the other.
Just an athlete, I think. Now that's interesting. It's been hit into the offside for a single, just a misfield. But I swear I saw Kobe Maguire back away from that one. Now Kobe Maguire is clearly an accomplished opening bat, and I'm sure I saw his back foot retreat the square leg.
Yeah, you can't blame him. That first one was some serious chin music and just a bit of head noise going on when the kookaburra starts whistling past your nostrils, Dan.
But he said it wasn't a kookaburra. Whitney with the short delivery. The pull shot he's played was actually very well directed. That'll go for a boundary. It was a very controlled pull shot. That one perhaps not bouncing as high as some of the others. Only got up to around the hips. And Laffin did very well to take it off. It probably was still an off-stump line and put it behind square for a boundary.
Yeah, great shot there by the opening batsman. And if you want to open up, you've got to get used to playing off your back foot. And that was a glorious sort of hook shot there by Laffin, and he found the boundary for the second time this innings.
Whitney pitches it up a little ball, well driven by Laffin. And that was good middle overs cricket, albeit still in the power play.
Yeah, looks like Whitney's really got his confidence up here. Steaming in, down breeze, bending his back, got the slip in play. Couple of bumpers.
And not just his confidence, I think he's basically said, I will take you to victory, boys, follow me. Good length delivery, got a bit of bounce on that, and it tucked Maguire up, gave him no space.
Yeah, a little bit of shape there as well. The Waveriders skipper. A late swing, so when he pitches it up, he's got it singing as well. So good signs here.
I'm going to give a bowling action comparison. Andy Bickle. Let's have a look. I think it's an Andy Bickle-like action.
Queensland great. And what he'll take that, and an opportunity for a run out.
Good backing up from D'Souza. Good overall round. Whitney has it on a string at the moment. The pace is up. He knows he's only got 4 overs to bowl now. If he bowls well enough, he'll have another 4 overs to bowl in a couple of hours' time. The final of this competition starts at 2 o'clock. So if you've got things to do, enjoy this semi-final. Remember, you can always go back and watch the live stream. This will be on YouTube permanently from now on. So if you want to make sure you catch the big one, that starts at 2 o'clock. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time. Hello to all our viewers in Kazakhstan. As Dupinder Singh will continue, third over from the southern or Peterborough Oval end.
Yeah, I love to see the confidence from the skipper to toss the ball to the opener to bowl out. I feel like too often in T20 cricket, captains feel like they need to change things up. So I love the temperament of Whitney to just keep things going even outside of the power play here.
On the attack, he's managed to place that well enough. Didn't time it. D'Souza chasing it well. And he's been able to field it at cover to keep it down to, well, they're able to take a second. So Kobe Maguire moving along. And even though he didn't time it, getting a 2 has been a little bit rare lately.
Yes, they move along to 26 without damage to the Pirates. So wickets in hand. Good opening stand here.
attacking. Good catch. Excellent catch. That is Whitney, I believe, at cover. Didn't get onto it. Came off the inside edge of the bat, but it was airy. It wasn't timed. Whitney leapt up to his left. Didn't need to go all that far, but it was travelling quickly enough. And Tom Whitney is doing it with bat, ball, and mitts here at Fred Kratzmann Oval.
And tell you what, Dan, this Waveriders outfit, they look like a class above in batting, bowling, and fielding. Pleasure to watch, and the skipper leading by example. That was an absolute pearler.
So the Waveriders affirming their favouritism. This will be the biggest challenge, however. Flynn Thomason, number 3. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I believe he is the Pirates' leading run scorer for the tournament so far. While the live stream with commentary was happening at Ivor Marsden Fields out at Ipswich, the Under-19 tournament was taking place at the Ipswich Grammar School, and Flynn Thomason there had a very good 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's been doing the damage with both bat and ball. Flynn Thomason, highest score of 77. She got off just 51 deliveries. So run rate, no issue for the right-hander. Pirates going to need him to play roll down.
And with all due respect, I think that was against the Rockets he got that 77. And with all due respect to the Rockets, I think this is a better bowling attack, bigger challenge.
Singing again.
Pitched it up and was just played out to point for no run.
Yeah, so great outfit, this Waveriders team. A lot of them will be moving into the senior ranks in the next couple of years, and the future of the Waveriders looks bright.
It's a well-organised franchise. Dipinder Singh. Lofted. Over the head of mid-off, going back. It'll be a tricky catch if he gets it, particularly with me yelling at him. But no, good effort in the deep by Stephen Timms, who's able to get the ball back in. But realistically, I think that was always going to be just 3 or 4 metres beyond him. But not a convincing stroke by any means.
Yeah, and an interesting field set by the Waveriders here. They've got 4 men back, both square and fine, so no men back straight.
Shorter. That one's lofted again. This will land about the same distance behind. One bounce. In fact, in the end, it only landed about 1 metre inside the boundary. D'Souza was chasing it. Again, not a convincing shot. But unfortunately for Dipinder Singh, he's conceded 6 runs and 2 balls from 2 unconvincing shots.
But intelligent batting, I say, by Thomason, because there's no fielders back at mid-on, mid-off, and straight away we see mid-on go back. So he's got an opportunity for an easy one now down the ground.
Shorter delivery, that is an uneducated edge. Another moral victory for Dipinder Singh, that found the gap at third, and an educated 4 for Thomason, who's raced to 10 off 4.
10 off 4, and he's really changed the momentum of things out in the middle there. The Waveriders were really on top, and Thomason just came out and started clubbing them.
And it was a good point you made before about why they kept the field up. And I think if you've got a big fast bowler who's charging in, and so far no one has looked like being dominant against him in front of the wicket, why not put your outfielders behind the wicket, because that's where it's more likely to go. But you're right, and you convinced me on this point. Thomason hitting over the top meant that the field had to be changed. Speaking of change, we have a bowling change at the far end.
And the new bowler for the Gold Coast Waveriders, Tom Sipple, coming in from the northern end. Tom Sipple.
Famous name in Queensland cricket, Sipple. I haven't checked the relationship between Tom and Michael. But Tom will be taking over at the northern, or Wellington Point Road end. Leg spin. Tossed it up, just lofted into the offside. And for a dot ball, a few interesting things happened.
Yeah, it looks nice out of the hand here for Sipple. Good shape, good momentum, and I love to see the spin and land the first couple early.
A bit of flight. Latham didn't get all of that. He'll get an easy single down to long on. Sipple looking impressive.
3 wickets so far in this competition. Tom Sipple, average of 35, best bowling of 2 for 10. take 2 for 10 today here, the Waveriders. It's good out of hand there.
Yeah, lots of control over it. After this ball, I'll answer a question that's come up on the live chat. Thank you to Will C. Flatter delivery and just bunted to cover. Will C goes off about Charlie Self first of all, and why not, and then asks, do we know why he didn't bat? And look, it's a good question. He certainly can bat based on his figures, but he has been out of the side for a couple of weeks, and possibly the Waveriders just went with the people who've been consistently in the side. Thomason showing respect, just beat the dive of Sippel at the bowler's end, and so they get the one-day 22nd over single.
Yeah, so the field spread here, and ones galore. They've got men on the fence at deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and deep cover. So plenty of opportunity to just knock it around and consolidate here, the Pirates.
And Laffin this time decides to use his feet. There wasn't a lot of variation in the flight from Sippel. It will only yield one. Didn't quite get enough on it, and I think it was Sam Willis who raced around at the straight boundary to just keep it to the solitary run.
Now I'm going to say he beat him in flight there, Sippel. He's still tossing it out, which is good to see.
Thomason goes for a big one. It's wide of mid-on. It won't be cut off. That is, in fact, the boundary. Not off the middle of the bat, but he got plenty of wood on it.
Yeah, Thomason looks like he's not going to be... not going to die wondering here. He's come out hitting them everywhere, Dan, and he's got a couple away. That hurts late in the over as well. It's a tight over from the leggy Thomason. He's got a couple of boundaries away.
Yeah, he's clearly been told to go for it, which is what you want from your big hitter at number 3. Charlie Self also getting some love from Sammy Walsh on the live chat. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Will. The Charlie Walsh, the Charlie Self fan club is out in force today.
After 6 overs, 1 for 43.
Bowling change at the southern end.
For the Waveriders, they were 1 for
This will be
38
Sam Willis.
New bowler on, number 12 for the Waveriders.
So it did a bit of a roll there late in the innings for the Waveriders. Sam Willis. Field spreads here.
Just medium pace Willis as it's knocked into the offside for a single. And even though it's slower than what's been coming, this is a good change. It asks the batsman different questions.
Yeah, so a genuine all-rounder, Sam Willis. High score of 78 in this series and 2 for 20 as well. So another player for the Waveriders that can offer with both bat and ball.
If you look on the Queensland cricket, on my cricket rather, they do actually count 2 wickets in an innings as a stat. And I think for T20 cricket that's perfect. That's a beautiful delivery. Took the edge. Was just back of a length, but I'm sure that cut away. We're on a slight angle here. But it's taken the outside edge of the bat. And that's 2 wickets down. That is one that the Pirates could ill afford to lose.
Wicket down there for the Bayside Pirates.
Yeah, that was some classic fast bowling there by Sam Willis. Just taking it away from the right-hander, and he flicked the outside edge on its way through to the keeper. Terrific bowling. Classic fast bowling, and that's another wicket down for the Pirates.
So Thomason departs, and he was the one who was looking to be the aggressor. And as I said, a medium pace will ask different questions of the batter. He was definitely relying on the pace of the ball to get it away when he was facing the likes of Whitney and Singh. As soon as a medium pacer came on, he realised he had to generate it, and particularly when he saw a ball that cut away from him, very different set of circumstances, as Carter Pearson makes his way to the crease.
That channel in any form of cricket, Dan, just so hard to play. 4th, 5th stump line. Just can't, a bit of a nothing shot really. You need to play at it, but that's the danger, that's the reward you get for bowling that line, and great stuff from Sam Willis. A great start here to his spell. 2 for 44 now, the Pirates.
I'll get back to the live chat in a moment, but I think Charlie Self's, I'm going to get it right, his extended family has joined us on the chat, and thank you so much for getting involved, to Will and Sammy and Tom, Griff. Wonderful to hear from you. Thank you so much. I'll get to the AFL question in a moment.
strong outfit, this Waveriders team, Dan.
Haven't seen a weakness yet. Just down the leg side, and just a little bit of a trampoline-y, easy bounce. So a single turned away for Pearson to get off the mark and be looking for redemption after his bowling spell before. I'm told on the stream that Charlie Self also has a bit of an AFL career. Now, if that's the case, I'll have a chat to him. I'm also a commentator in the QAFL and the QAFLW, which is probably not Charlie's name. So I look forward to calling him in 2 sports if that's the case. Again, getting a little bit of movement away from the bat. Single, throw comes in. Some sharp fielding on the edge of the circle. And the Waveriders are giving away no easy runs. Barely any runs at all, in fact.
Yeah, so just when it looked like the Pirates were cruising along at 7 and over, a wicket really tightens that and squeezes the run rate and the pressure on. The run out rather, coming of that.
Well read, waited for that delivery. And some good smart batting from the new man, Pearson. Ashvir Singh it was with a run-out chance on the edge of the circle before, so as well as anchoring the innings at 3, a bit of a shoulder on him as well.
Yeah, that was a rocket of a throw as well. And he's really put the brakes on here, Willis. It's just what the Waveriders needed. Run rate getting up to 7 and over, and he's really tightened the screws here.
Lofted, dropped. Was played out to point. Stephen Timms got 2 hands around it. He's done some good things in the field today, Timms. But on that occasion, it was just to his left, and by just I mean about 15 centimetres. He's disappointed with himself. It's up to him now to put that one out of his head.
That was a dolly, Dan. It's got to be said. It's gone straight to him. If you're fielding square of the wicket, that's as easy as they come. And just hope that doesn't cost him. It would have been a great start for Sam Willis. It was either way, but 2 for 3 reads a bit different to 1 for 3, especially for your first over. New man, that would have been him back in the sheds.
As you say, the Waveriders are on top. They clearly set high standards for themselves. But part of those high standards is mental toughness, which is not going out there and shooting your mouth off. It's being able to put disappointments behind you and playing for the next ball. Simple. A foolish delivery, but at least it was dipping on Carter Pearson, so it's just played down to long on for 1.
Brings Laffin onto strike. Dropped on the last delivery of the previous over.
If you're following the live stream, there's details of Charlie Self's AFL career on there. Another dipping delivery, just a little bit full, but couldn't quite get to the pitch. Sorry, Australian football. AFL's the name of the competition. Australian rules is the name of the sport. Simple. That was an unconventional sweep shot from Lappin. And he forced the save on the boundary. He'll get 2, but some excellent fielding at deep square leg meant it didn't go for 4.
Yeah, walked across his stumps there, Laffin. Interesting move with runs galore, really. The field spread, so there's ones everywhere. Bit of a risk to walk across his stumps, and the leg spinner won't mind that.
Yeah, not a coaching manual sweep shot on that occasion. Flighted delivery, just hit over the head of cover. Whitney went for a bit of a fly. Would have taken, well, a trampoline really to get that high, but good work from Sipple. 2 balls left in the over.
Yeah, I think you take your hat off to the batsman there. If he can get that one away, then good luck to him. Don't mind him driving, as Shane Warne used to say, invite the drive.
Oh, indeed. Right out invitations for it. Dropped a little bit shorter. Laffin on the back foot, run out chance. And just with the throw being on the bounce, it meant that Self had a little bit too much to do to affect the run out. And so in the end, good attacking running from the Pirates.
Okay, and good backing up by the non-striker there. Pearson, we saw his last over bowling get put away, but I need him to score a few runs here.
Sammy Walsh asks, where's Tearaway Quickdale D'Souza? Given the position they're in, they may be keeping him fresh for the final. Given the work that Whitney and Singh have done, There's 4 overs. If they make it to the final, they're looking odds on now. Think of this long term. Again, a shorter delivery, but it did zip off the pitch a little, and Pearson did well to push it to point, but no run, and the Waveriders well and truly on top.
Yeah, D'Souza, he's just been the danger man for the Waveriders this whole tournament. 13 wickets at an average of 8.92.
8.92, huh?
Yeah, just to be specific.
Oh, no, I wasn't criticising you. I just thought, yeah, I've seen worse averages than that.
Yeah. Best bowling of 4 for 8.
Oh, dear.
Maybe they don't need to bring him out just yet.
Yes.
He's the danger man for sure, though, Dale D'Souza.
But unneeded at the moment because Sam Willis has it on a string. Shorter delivery, and Laffin, was he trying to play for Whitney bounce instead of Willis bounce? I'm not sure there.
Yeah, an interesting shot because they've got protection there at deep square leg, so even if he got a hold of that, man, he's out there. It certainly didn't look like he was trying to hit it along the carpet either.
Lofted, coming down straight, running in towards it, dropped catch, possibly fielding in front of a couple of loud commentators is not the easiest thing to do. So put down on that occasion by Dipinder Singh.
So Sam Willis had a couple of drops off his own bowling now.
And the only justification I'll make is that if Dipinder Singh keeps bowling like he does today, he's going to play a lot more grounds with commentary. Flicked into the leg side, just the single as it goes out to Bailey Sewell.
Laffin gets himself along to 27 rather, 25. So he's building a nice little innings here and a launch pad for the Pirates.
I'll wait till the end of the over to get to some comments, but Willis is superb here. Dabbed in. Willis earning respect. I think a couple of the Pirates batters, their eyes might have lit up when they saw, oh, someone who's not express pace. He's given them nothing.
Yeah, it's been a very tight spell so far, and arguably the hardest to get away, Dan. A couple of chances coming from his bowling, and only the 6 runs so far.
Superb. And again, they've just decided to see him off. Willis, tight.
It's just such a good channel. My old cricketing coach used to call that the first class channel, because if you can bowl most of your deliveries in that sort of channel, you're in with a chance of not only taking wickets but also playing first class cricket.
Elliot, you're only 25. You don't have an old cricketing coach. Pitched up, played for the edge. Moral victory for Willis. Superb over. Just a score check, please. My screen is fuzzy.
So the score's at 2 for 56 after 9 overs. And Laffin on 27 off 25. Pearson's missed the 2 off 6. And a great spell so far by Sam Willis. 2 overs, 1 for 6. And a couple of drop chances as well.
We'll see asking, did you boys, meaning you and I, Elliot, chirp Dipinder Singh under the high ball? Look, we probably did, but it is also our job, so I don't really want to apologise for that. Jack Chapman says he's tuning in from Ahmedabad. If he is, that's great. If he's just trying to give it international flavour to the stream, that's also great. And look, I'm not going to comment on anything that players might have done outside of their cricket careers, so I'll ignore a couple there. As Pearson will continue from the northern Wellington Road end. Not a lot of footwork, but a bit of a slap at that one from Braden Laffin, who to me is looking a bit frustrated.
Yeah, he hasn't got a boundary away in a few overs now, and he's been dropped twice. So the leggy Sipple's in the game here, I reckon.
Bit of movement from Laffin. And I don't know whether Pearson adjusted, Sipple adjusted, or whether he just bowled a good delivery, but Laffin ended up giving himself no room. Okay, I can see what Sipple was trying to do there, but it, what's the phrase? Didn't work.
Yeah, Laffin really needs to level up here. You can sense he's getting a little bit frustrated, but there's ones everywhere, so he can't force himself to play the big shot.
Getting a bit too flat. That one's slapped over cover. It will be cut off, but they'll also run two relatively comfortably. Good throw in from the outfield. It's a left-hander. I'll see if I can identify the fielder, because if you do that, you deserve credit for it.
Yeah, so Laffin's had 350 so far in this competition, so he's certainly no stranger to a big score. Bayside Pirates need him to be there at the end if there are any chance of chasing this total down.
Turned into a full toss. Laffin just did enough. Didn't time it though. We'll come back for a second. That's some excellent running from Pearson. And you can see how high the expectations are of the Waveriders, because they did that and were disappointed. It's Tom Fitz that puts out the ball for Dale D'Souza. And that is how you bowl a cricket ball. It wasn't just that it was quicker, it was that he disguised it and that he pulled the length back through the hidden bails. There was nothing that could be done by Shahid Afridi used to have a cricket ball like that for a leg spinner to pull that one out in that moment. Yes, his team's on the top, but that was just superb.
Yeah, classic leg spin bowling there. He'd been tossing them up, and then the slider, as Shane Warne said, pushed the leggy through a bit quicker and it doesn't turn, it skids on. And Pearson rocking back on the back foot there, didn't anticipate it, and he lost his timber. Didn't really look comfortable in the crease there, Pearson.
Is that Pearson or Laffin you got out? Sorry.
Oh, that was Laffin,
that is
sorry.
Laffin's key
sorry,
wicket.
Key wicket. My apologies. And a big wicket for the spinner. So a huge wicket there for the leggy, and just when we're talking about him getting a little bit frustrated, Laffin, he's lost his wicket, and that hurts for the Pirates.
There's a few of Charlie Self's teammates who were suggesting that the reason for the wickets is actually what they refer to as Self's chirp behind the stumps. Look, I get that most wicketkeepers are chirpy fellows, but I think the Pirates aren't having the best day today, but there are a lot of players with great experience in there, and I think their minds are pretty tough. They won't object to a bit of chirp from let's face it, all keepers are mainly undersized, and there's a reason they're never allowed to bowl. So but the Waveriders well on top. Sorry, Elliot.
No, well, I was just going to say, it is first versus fourth in terms of where they finished the regular season, and the Waveriders just really looking a level above here consistently throughout this game there.
Zach Maguire, the new bat, left-hander. Lovely flighted delivery from Sipple. It's been impressive. All Maguire could do was just play out the end of the over, and Sipple's been superb. There is even an option there to keep him on, and just to answer a couple of questions, I think Dale D'Souza, maybe they'll just keep him in the back pocket, which is normally the last thing I say before he's brought on to bowl. I think he's just walking across. I've done it again, yes. Dale D'Souza's coming on to bowl. The crowd has spoken, the captain has listened.
And the commentator has put the knocker on him.
No, I got it right. Sam Willis is coming on to bowl. This is why you should always shut up until you know what you're talking about, which in my case means I'll start talking about 5 years' time. Sam Willis to continue from the southern end. This, I know.
The underdog Indy really wanted the Pirates to get up, and Laffin is their last hope, I felt.
A little wide there from Willis. It's about as wayward as he's got today. Slapped to point, charging through for a second. And the throw to Self. They keep calling him Seltzer on the street. His name is Self. Got it on the bounce. Too much for them.
Yeah, and you feel like with Laffin out, it's going to be all uphill here for the Pirates. Hard to chase down now. 110 still needed off the last 10 overs. That one, another classic outswinger from Willis.
Outswingers or leg cutters? They just seem to be moving off the pitch rather than the air tonight. How do you see it?
Oh, I thought there was a bit of movement in the air.
Sure, okay.
We'll have another look on this one. We'd love to up close camera. Fortunately, we're not quite at that level. To get binoculars out, maybe.
We have ambition beyond our ability. Willis is pulled. It's to the right of Whitney. Looks to be into the gap. Beautiful fielding. Excellent fielding on the boundary. Just put it inside. That was, I think, Bailey Sewell's superb work. And no matter how far the Waveriders are ahead, they will keep looking for ways to save runs.
Yeah, great fielder Bailey Sewell, the opening batsman. Classic diving stop there at the boundary.
Foolish delivery, that hit straight to Whitney along the turf at short mid-wicket.
So Pearson looking classy. Leg spinner, he bowled the last over, unfortunately, of the Waveriders innings.
I still blame Rafi. Foolish delivery, just pushed, beautiful fielding, and that would have been a magical moment had that hit. Opportunity for an overthrow. That was Tom Whitney again.
He's been everywhere today, the skipper, and they just look like such a classy outfit, the Waveriders, on all levels across the board.
And apparently Self was a last round draft pick as well, so when you're getting the last round draft picks that have performed as well, in terms of team of the tournaments, Self did miss 2 weeks, and that might count against him. Beautiful Yorker. Superb Yorker. Maguire could only do what he did.
Yeah, Maguire yet to really get going with his batting so far this season. Score of 22 coming against the Darling Dingoes.
A decent attack.
Decent attack. The Dingoes will feature in this afternoon's final.
So if the Waveriders continue on this vein, we're going to have no Brisbane-based teams in the final of the Brisbane Premier League, which contain no matches played in Brisbane.
All the irony. Sipple to continue here. Loved his spell so far.
For one moment, not a wide, not an edge. It flirted with interesting things, that ball.
Tipple 1 for 18 off his 3 so far, so tidy leg spin bowling here.
Foolish, but as wayward as he's got down to leg side, beautifully swept, 4 runs. Pearson's been waiting for a loose ball. There's barely been one for the time he's been out there, but that one was outside the leg stump. Not a lot of turn on it. Rolled the wrists, 4 runs right along the carpet.
Yeah, glorious shot that by Carter Pearson. There's no protection there, and that was just classic batsmanship. A good season so far, Carter Pearson. A score of 58, average of 46. They'll need every run of that today.
Shorter delivery. Oh! Possibly dropped. It went through the hands of the fielder Cooper Mackey at short mid-wicket. Possibly the muscles got in the way of that one as he tried to lift the arms. Sometimes you can be too buff. But a slap shot through mid-wicket for 1.
Yeah, you felt like that wicket would have been curtains on the Pirates. There's still a chance, and one just squeezing through the hands of the fielder at mid-wicket.
I think that wanted to be lofted by Zach Maguire, but ended up going along the carpet. Sipple not quite as controlled this over, but that one did land on a good length in a good spot.
Yeah, and besides that slider that got him the wicket in the last over, haven't seen too much variation from the leggy. See a lot of spin bowlers bowl a lot of variation in the defensive field.
He did get a wicket with a very fast ball. Oh, not the right ball to sweep. That was way too straight and possibly even outside off stump. And Pearson lucky to survive.
Yeah, looked pretty adjacent from where we were sitting. The umpire shook his head straight away though,
Yeah.
so outside the line.
Just hit along the turf, kind of dug it out rather than stroked at Carter Pearson. It's just an easy one to wide, long on.
And that'll wrap his spell up. Sipple 1 for 25 off his 4, so there's some very, very tidy bowling from Tom Sipple and a great spell of leg spin bowling. A couple of other opportunities in there as well, and only 6 and over, so Skipper will be happy with him, and he's probably going to get his 4 in the final again as well, you'd say.
Looks like Dale D'Souza's coming on. Next chance you get, could you please, just because it's not on screen at the moment, could you please give us a run through the batting card for so far for this innings?
Yeah, so we've got Maguire 10 off 14, and Laffin just on the precipice of a big innings there, 31 off 30, bowled by a classic slider by Tom Sipple. Thomason as well, he was gone to Sam Willis with a great outswing of 15 off 8, and that has left us with Pearson and Maguire at the crease as we see the Waveriders strike bowler come steaming in for the first time today.
There are worse ways to start. There are worse ways to start. A Yorker, fast, maybe a bit of outswing as well, and Dale D'Souza has said, well, if there isn't a most wickets trophy with this comp already, make one and give it to me because I've got my name all over it.
Yeah, and he's making wickets just look so easy to come by. Dale D'Souza, 14 wickets so far this campaign, well above the second place, and wow, first delivery, they've been calling out for him and we can see why then.
Look, he's clearly had a good tournament. The only reason you'd hold him back, I think, is because this is one of 2 consecutive games. There was a bit of conjecture amongst the organising committee as to whether you play the first versus fourth game first or the second versus third. And eventually they decided that it was more of an advantage for the first place team to play the second semi so that they didn't have to get up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that works in your favour. Having got up at 5 in the morning myself to commentate the 7 a.m. game this morning.
Yeah, so all the physical effort that we're expending here earlier this Oh dear.
Dale D'Souza, he's had a sleep in and 10 over rest. The big fast bowler.
Well, that's his first direct act in the match. I think he's fielded 1 or 2 balls, and maybe he did some throwdowns beforehand, but he's just come into the match, and he, forgive me, which over the
You're into the 13th over.
13th over. Forgive me, I should have switched over by now, Elliot, so if you'd like to take over play-by-play at this point, stop me hogging the call, you're welcome to do that.
Enjoying your call, Dan, enjoying your call, and I'm enjoying Dale D'Souza's spell so far. It's a good toss. Bunts into the man and mid off on the ring. Dale D'Souza looks like he bowls quite full. And he's bowling into the breeze. Interesting to get a little bit of insight between this and the final, assuming they win, as to whether that's his decision or not.
I think Winnie Captain's also a fast bowler. It's not as though Whitney's taking overs from him. Going around the wickets, we like.
Shape by wire straight back, knocks it straight down the ground to the man and long on, and gets himself a single, and he's off strike, which he won't mind.
Again, I don't want to be critical or defamatory or anything, but I just thought I saw the back foot move away from Maguire, which suggests he may be a little troubled by the pace here.
Yeah, D'Souza's got that classic fast bowling side on action. Reminds me a bit of Shade Afridi. Not Shade Afridi, rather. Who's a Pakistani fast bowler?
Oh, hang on. We'll just watch
Shoaib
the play.
Akhtar.
There's a bit of that as they've just finished running 2. It's a bit quick with a double run-out chance. Sorry to talk over you there, Elliot. I thought you might have meant Shahid Shah Afridi because he's like, but a little bit of Akhtar there, I think. The Pirates picking up 2. And they do need to challenge the field now, which means taking a few risks. Some of those run-outs that you and Joel love so much, Elliot. Had a feast this morning.
Yeah, 5 barbecues this morning. That's run-outs, for those that don't speak cricket. And a bumper, and he's pulled that straight to the man out mid-wicket, and that's out. Dale D'Souza with his 2nd wicket in his first over, and that's the end of Henderson.
The catch taken by Cooper Mackey at mid-wicket. Simple as you like. I feel that D'Souza just pulled the pace back a little with that delivery, which meant that the shot was probably even more mistimed than it was going to be. Again, nothing wrong with the intent of the shot. I mean, it was a shorter delivery. He played a cross-back point to it. Okay, it didn't work. That's an execution error, not a tactical error. As the new bat will be Caleb Montgomery.
Yeah, so D'Souza with 2 wickets in his first over. Really is the strike bowler for the Waveriders. And with that run rate building, Pirates looking to put their foot on the run rate accelerator and not doing. He's out and he's in the sheds. Henderson and Maguire going to need a step up here for any chance of getting close. But you feel like with 100 to get in 7 overs, the Waveriders have pretty much booked their spot in the final game.
Well, now that I've moved into the special comments role, I'm going to call it. the Waveriders, I think by now have done enough to get into the final. Caleb Montgomery is the left-hander. They've got a few left-handers in the lineup, which is good to see. Both Maguires and now Montgomery, who just can play with the bowler's line a little bit. Not that D'Souza seems too worried right now.
Coming around the wicket to the left-hander. Bangs that one in. And Caleb Montgomery just gets on the back foot, defends that to the offside. So, not a bad opening over, Dan. 2 for 4.
No, he was ready for that. I think he been not stewing, but just biding his time in the outfield. A good captain, of course, communicates, and maybe the coach as well. That's Pranay Mishra, who it was going to be Chris Swan, the former first grade and first class fast bowler for Queensland, but when the tournament was delayed, he unfortunately became unavailable. Likewise, Alistair McDermott was to be the coach for this Bayside Pirates side, and he became unavailable. So the celebrity coaches have gone, but we now have Lachlan Schubert to bowl. And I think the Waveriders being intelligent here, they're saying, okay, let's share the bowlers around. We don't know who we're going to need in the final. Let's just make sure we've got all guns ready to follow the big one.
He's got 6 wickets so far, Schubert. Another leggy, giving it a rip. And rocks back on the back foot there. And they've got protection out of mid-wicket, but they come back for 2. So running by the Pirates there, and Maguire a little bit more comfortable against spin than he is against pace there.
2s won't win it for them, but you have to start somewhere. Just take all the runs available in the Pirates and just see how far you can get. You never know, as Justin Langer said, well, he had a good risk.
He drops that one a little bit short, and Maguire was looking for nothing but the crossbat shot, and he's pulled that down the ground for 1. As you can probably hear the fireworks going on behind us, folks. That's the second semi-final going on. Seniors.
That's Waveriders versus Magic.
Just need to get a little score update there.
I can't be bothered. I'm invested in this game.
Oh, I couldn't help myself there. The spinner in me wanted to go up there, containing myself with the commentary, but looks like it's coming out of the hand quite nicely here. The new leggy. Didn't get a good rip. Schubert.
Yeah, Montgomery, I think, is being given an opportunity. He doesn't look like a frontline batsman, and that's okay.
So Schubert is landing them pretty well, and that's out. Looks pretty adjacent from where we're sitting. And who was that? Sorry.
That's Montgomery.
Montgomery rocked back, looked to pull it, and it just wasn't there, you'd have to say, Dan. And LBW the call. Pretty club.
Montgomery wasn't moving his feet until the ball was bouncing. He was pretty much just watching the ball come to him and not really moving. So, you know, he can work on his game against leg spin. He's a young player, and he'll have plenty of years of cricket ahead of him. But on that occasion, didn't play the leg spin well. And some love on the chat from Mitch LeBron, who called out in capital letters Seltzer and then Shoobs. So they're the game. I'm guessing that Shoobs is probably Lachlan Schubert. I mean, that's just a guess.
Yeah, you'd have to
That's a
assume,
guess,
wouldn't you? Yeah.
So, but no, he's got a wicket, and once again, the Waveriders, they're just making sure that everyone's ready to go for the final. Schubert now goes into the final with a little bit more confidence. D'Souza hasn't. They've basically made sure that he's not rusty going into the final. He's got one over out. They may stop him at 2 for 4. They may bring someone else on this over now that the game is, well, it was in the bag before that over. It's just, it's being pushed into another bag inside that bag.
Yeah, we love bags. And Schubert, 7 wickets and an average of 13.5, best bowling with 2 for 9. So great stats that for a leg spinner.
Yeah.
Pirates. Ropes here. Schubert, another classic leggy. Did he turn off the wicket there?
Possibly wasted on Morgan Galvin, who's come to the crease. And again, went for the cut shot. And cut shots, first ball against a leggy who's getting some turn and bounce. Well, this is really the only situation where you justify it. One where the run rate is high and you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing. Just go for it, and you'll either do what's expected or you'll pull off a victory that you'll be able to tell the grandkids about.
Yeah, and D'Souza's come back on for a second over, so hungry to really get himself right for the final. 2 for 4 off his first over.
They're 8 down?
6 for 80.
Sorry,
The Pirates. 14 overs down. That stump to stump line. Rocks back and slaps that to mid-off, who's on the ring. And D'Souza won't mind that at all. Also won't mind bowling to the tail enders.
Well, the reason I was looking at, and apologies, my screen's a bit fuzzy because I'm trying to watch the stream while I'm commentating. I was trying to assess his chances in the 5 and it's very much on.
Yeah, absolutely, he'll be backing himself in here as well. Pirates, like they're a little bit thin in batting stocks. Digs that one in, and Galvin on the back foot pulls it out to Sewell, who's out there on the square leg boundary, and he slipped over and he's thrown into the bowler's end.
He played that well, Galvin, got over it, rolled the wrist, kept it down. To answer Griff on the stream, the final begins at 2 o'clock. If you're in Queensland, that's 2 o'clock. If you're elsewhere, you're Australian Eastern Standard Time. 10 hours ahead of GMT, there you go.
Slow ball from D'Souza, rolled his fingers over it. Coming around the wicket to the left-hander, so just adjusting his angle. And then just the one out to mid-wicket.
Got to find something to pick on with D'Souza. That is the least disguised slower ball I've seen today. It wasn't just rolling the fingers, his arm came through at half speed. If he has a better slower ball than that, he's kept it in the locker room for now.
Previously gone okay for him so far this competition. Full and straight, and right on the full there. Galvin, actually not looking too bad, Galvin. He's come in at 8, and he's played a nice cover drive off a full toss, but full shot as well. That foot was quite nice as well.
That was the impressive shot this over, agreed. And so comfortable against pace. We'll see how he goes against Schubert at the other end, because that's a different test.
So a lot of responsibility here falling on the shoulders of Maguire. And a bumper by D'Souza there sort of followed him as Maguire tried to duck out of the way. And lucky not to clip one on the lid there. Maguire will be happy to see that one go through to the keeper.
I'm now starting to think that the undisguised slower ball is merely a setup for that delivery.
U-shaped turn at the top of D'Souza's mark as he comes steaming in again, and another bouncer as a classic fast bowler will do if he saw one short ball go okay. He's thought, the skipper can't have a got me if I give him another one.
It's a bit of a myth, a bit of a trope that fast bowlers don't think, but on occasions like that, they don't help their own reputation really, do they? It's like, let's conform to the stereotype to keep them guessing. But look, he bowled well there, Dr. D'Souza. Dr. Zeus
The
at the moment.
speed doctor.
Yes. There we go. We have an epithet for Dale D'Souza. As Schubert will continue, cap on.
Yeah, cap on. It's an interesting look. It doesn't matter though, as he walks across his stumps there, and there are no fielders out there. The man at deep backward square has had to run around to the fine leg boundary and do the mopping up, and a nice shot by Galvin as he walked across his stumps, which was relatively risky, but no fielders at fine leg, and he's picked up 3.
I dare say that Galvin normally bats ahead of my mopping, and he's just not back today for different reasons. But no, he's looked quite accomplished.
Looks like it's coming out quite nicely for Schubert as well, or Shubes as his mates are calling him. And that is gone. So great shot there by Maguire, slog sweep, and vacant cow corner results in 4. And that's a boundary, we haven't seen one of them in a while, Dan.
It's been a while. I'm not sure that was a slog sweep. I think that was just a slog.
So Maguire moves himself along to 11 off 11, so...
Just got a bit flat, Schubert. I'd like to see him give it a bit more air.
Very round, and Maguire flat bats that one down the ground. He's played that shot a few times, the pull shot to mid-on.
Yeah, Schubert, at the moment, he's bowling flat and short. He's almost playing for catches in the outfield, and I get that that works sometimes, but Schubert's better than that. He's shown us that.
He had a good rip though, Galvin walks across his stumps again and meets it on the full, turns that around the corner, and the man at deep backwards being busy this over. And they pick up 2.
Guest commentary from Fido in the background, but a few dogs around today. Dipinder Singh's outfielding's been excellent. He's put in the last 2 throws from Pine Leg.
Meets that on the full. Galvin used his feet and he'll make the most of it. An inside edge goes straight to the man at mid-wicket who's on the ring, and it's a dot. He's gone the reverse, and a bit of an interesting delivery that one to call Dan, but a dot the result, and that's all that matters.
I don't think the choice of shot was the problem. It was outside off. He hit the hands, and had he got it where he wanted, he really only had to beat Adam Kerr to get the boundary. Unfortunately, it didn't get anywhere near low enough. You've got to get the body low and make sure you actually reverse sweep as opposed to just reverse swat. And the bat wasn't really all that close to the ball.
Yeah. Looks like Dale D'Souza's going to continue here.
Out of interest, what's the required run rate at the moment?
I don't have the required run rate handy, but they do need about 80 runs. 78 82 runs required off 4 overs, so it's at about 21 runs and over.
Not wider up. They've got it way down.
Oh, they would want a few more sundries, the Pirates, but you feel like
Tim's still talking about Mr. Xavier Trans with the extras.
He might be. Full toss from D'Souza, and it's not going to be called a no ball. It must have gone through too close to that, the dot.
No, but simply, traditionally Australia's called them sundries and England's called them extras. And so I think it might have been Tim Lane on the ABC commentary would always talk about Mr. X-Tras, and he called him Xavier, so Mr. Xavier Tras.
It's a good inside. D'Souza nails his Yorker. Maguire bunts it down the ground for 1. So you feel like the game's pretty much over here for the Pirates. Victory lap almost for the Waveriders, and D'Souza has come in late, much cleaned up. I think it's a 2 for 10.
I think it would be nice and warm. That's possibly why it's been held back to that.
Another full toss. Galvin can't make the most of it. Looked like he was trying to work that into the offside, but he only succeeded in getting out the man to the wicket and make it through Brisbane.
Mackie was clever there because he got the, ended up misfielding the ball, but he went down with one hand and was looking for the run out. So it's not a bad time to test those kind of skills out with 4 overflows. There we go. Aren't going to make a difference.
And Sousa's full, and Maguire's flicked that, and it's gone straight to the man at the wicket on the fence, and he's put it down. That's a drop, and it looked like Schubert out there on the boundary. And it was a sitter, it has to be said, and they put down a couple today, the Waveriders. They're going to need to tighten up for the final. Can't be putting down catches like that.
No, he made a big one. So he made his ground stress, and it went through the hands, it burst through the hands.
Sousa to continue, and in true fast bowler fashion, the next ball was a bumper at his nose, and he's put that to the boundary at square leg. He wasn't having a bar of that, Maguire.
And that's intelligent because you have to suspect that after a drop catch, Maguire thought, okay, I'm pretty sure a bounce is coming here, anticipated it and anticipated it correctly. Would have been far more intelligent for D'Souza to go, you're expecting the bouncer, watch this Yorker.
Yeah, he's almost waiting for it there, Maguire. Sousa in again. It's a slower ball, and in almost an exact replay of the ball before, he's picked out the man at mid-wicket and he's put it down again. You can't see that, folks, but the fielder out there on the deep mid-wicket boundary has put down 2 catches of almost the exact same shot from Maguire. Has got away with 2. He's got out of jail free on 2 occasions.
Yeah, I think Lachlan Schubert is very pleased at the moment that the ground is cramped. That is, the centre of the ground is higher than it slopes away from the centre. Yeah, that was a torture definition. but because it means that his captain on the other side of the field couldn't actually see him drop those catches. So look, Lachlan Sheep has been incredible in that, and he'll be hoping, okay, I at least got the mistakes out of my system in the semi. So yeah, for the final, I'm all good. There's a bit of love on the stream for Addy Greywall. And this is the under-19s match, so if you want to go check out Addy's work, the senior matches, they're on KO Freebies. They're also elsewhere on YouTube. And if you've got a particularly boring work meeting this week, just put a replay of one of these games on, and hopefully it will make your week feel a lot better.
Addy Greywell with a first 100 in first grade cricket yesterday.
Oh, good on him.
100 off 100 balls.
Oh, that all. Right.
Big partnership with Joe Burns for Wests.
So he was carrying Joe, was he? Just, yeah, Joe played a nice support role.
I'm sure that's what he was telling his friends at dinner. They were back at the club room after the game. But yeah, big moment for Addy Greywell. We've seen him play well all competition. And it looks like the skipper's brought himself back on to try and mop up the tail here. 3 overs to go, or 2.5 now. And Whitney back on.
To be fair to the Pirates, they're not really into the tail. You know, Galvin has looked very assured. I mean, he's not going to score 100 off 30 or anything like that, but he clearly knows what he's doing with the backhand. So I don't think the Waveriders actually have gone through to the tail yet.
Yeah, not yet. So he's got a good rhythm up though. Tommy Whitney and the Waveriders. All set to play the Darling Dingoes pretty much, Dan. The final this afternoon starting at 2 o'clock.
We can talk in terms. It'll be a Dingoes Waveriders final. I believe that is the first second or first third, I've forgotten. I think it is first second.
First second. Great ball by Whitney, followed the right-handed Galvin as he backed away, bunted it to mid-wicket and they got through for a single.
Good throw by Mackie, accidentally hit the batter, and they're just exchanging some genuinely friendly words now. Thank you to everyone who's joined us on the live chat today and given us advice and support to the players. Hopefully the players will watch this back and realise how much love they've been getting.
And again to Maguire. Full and straight, and he backed away, didn't get any of that, and a diving catch brings about the end of Maguire, and third time lucky for the Waveriders for Maguire's wicket, and that's the end of him. 21 off 18 deliveries and 7 down now the Pirates.
He did his best in difficult circumstances, Maguire. He held his ground for a long time. Superb work from Ashvia Singh. Running in from mid-off, it hung in the air a long time, but the real skill there was firstly being able to make ground to the ball, and then secondly being balanced enough to take the catch. And I thought Ashvia really there personified the Waveriders' desire to see this match through to the end. Schubert will still be feeling a little bit low, but he will have chances to redeem himself. And to be honest, if it's a mentally strong team, they won't be ribbing him about it, but he's saying, mate, come on, get the next one. And just lifting each other up. Teams that do that tend to be a bit more successful, which is something I think Australian cricket culture could learn, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's Ashvia Singh. He's really set the standard back there for the Waveriders. A couple of sloppy overs in the field. And first wicket for the skipper. He's bowled well. Figures don't tell the full story, Dan.
You could almost say that runs per over rather than wickets is a better indicator of T20 bowling. Connor Arpany is the new batter. He's at the non-striker's end because that ball was in the air rather a while.
Yeah, and great catch by Singh charging in. I'm not sure if that was on camera or not, but if it is, we'll be watching that on replay. And he's walked around Galvin and turned that around the corner. They brought fine leg up into the ring and it's a dot. So very, very tight set there by the skipper. And figures looking pretty tidy there. Tommy Whitney, 1 for 11 off 3.
I'm thinking just looking from the angle the camera's at that the catch would have been just outside the zone. So apologies to all of the Ashvia Singh fans. And well, maybe in future years we'll have a bigger budget, we can have a camera operator who can move the thing around. But we're very grateful that you've joined us today. And we realise you didn't join it for us, you've joined it to see the players, your friends, your family, these people whose cricket careers you're following. And it's marvellous that they get the opportunity to play in something as showy, as glamorous as the Brisbane Premier League, brought to you by Mazda.
Yeah, and a couple of real promising young cricketers on display here today, Dan. Dale D'Souza, one of them, as he comes steaming in again. Arpany off drive there, but it's at the outside edge, and the offside is just jam-packed. Pretty much no chance of a single there.
Good footwork though, you saw that it was full, got the foot to the pitch of the ball, tried to play through it.
Tell you what, I've enjoyed watching Arpany bowl, or last week probably more so. Good channel that by D'Souza, fifth stump line, and Arpany kind of just hanging his bat out to dry there and sort of keep it for a dot.
It was still a relatively easy to read slower ball from D'Souza, but a bit more disguised than the one we talked about before.
Would you say they're into the tail now, Dan?
Well, Arpany looks all right. Plays here at Redlands. I think he might be a fifth grader from memory.
Digs that one in, and yeah, classy little turn around the corner there from Arpany. Just leant on his back foot and nudged it around the corner.
Nice throw from the infield, just to knock the bails off. Yeah, I mean, Arpany, again, doesn't look like the sort of batter who's going to tear an attack apart. But likewise, it looks like he puts a price on his wicket. We've seen a couple of batters get out to silly shots today in both games. He's not going to do that.
And the umpire hangs him up. That's too wide by D'Souza. Reminded Galvin as well.
Someone just died on the way through to the keeper. I wish I'd had a closer look at what D'Souza was doing with his hand. That might be on top.
Darling Dingoes preparing behind us here in the nets, folks. All set for a big final between the Waveriders and the Dingoes. Galvin backs away and then feigns it and comes back to the offside and for the lap, but D'Souza had followed him down the leg side and adjust, and just call that to the right.
Yeah, only call the umpire can make. Thank you to everyone listening. We realise that we are competing with the wind here, and there's a fair bit of it about being picked up by the effects mic, but we hope that our comments are just adding to a special day for your friends.
That's a better line by D'Souza and it's Galvin.
Again, died on its way through the set. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Whether he's deliberately lowering the bounce and undercutting the ball, or whether he just found a nice dead spot outside off stump.
Yeah, I was having a chat to one of the players from the previous game as D'Souza comes in again. That's a full toss, and Galvin beats the man at mid-off. He got his hands to it. Would have been a great catch if he could have hung on to it, but looks like who's that there? Jipinder Singh. He's put that down and it runs away to the fence. So
second catch has dropped this innings, but the first one was right in front of us and he had to put up with us commentating. So
and that was a tough opportunity there, but again we see the ball flying through the outfield even though there's a hand on it. And in true fast bowler fashion, the next ball is a bumper and it's too high. That's a wide.
That's a bad bouncer, really. It's we were saying before, I think it was Whitney who bowled one which is right at the shoulder height, the throat height. That's the one that actually troubles the batsman. You can almost laugh at that kind of bounce where it just sails over your head. Consider the run in poor bowling.
That's a better line from D'Souza, and the 19th over comes to an end. Yeah, I was having a chat to one of the players from the Dingoes from the previous game, and he said, as we mentioned earlier, folks, this isn't a kookaburra that they're using out there, and he mentioned that the ball really deteriorates, so the shine disappears almost straight away and just turns into a bit of an interesting ball. So I think maybe D'Souza there kind of showing how quickly the ball ages.
That's a good point. So what you're saying essentially is it's not the pitch wearing,
Yes.
It's not necessarily what he's doing with his hand, it's just what this ball does when it's 19 overs old.
and been hit around a little bit. Yeah, so
Yeah, good call, thank you.
interesting insight from the Dingoes. It was actually the skipper of the Dingoes, who we'll see feature this afternoon, Lachlan Crump. Schubert to continue. Galvin, was it, with the sweep? Arpany, rather. Oh, leg spinner facing a leg spinner.
Knows what he's doing.
Been looking to get the wood on him. And this is the last over.
So how many do they need off 5 balls?
Well, they need about 63.
It's a thriller.
And that's out. Maguire came about halfway down the wicket and was looking to hit that onto the Wellington Point Road end. And that's it. He's just played and missed, and the keeper loves that one. His friends will be loving that. He whipped the bails off and Schubert with 2 for.
One of the Charlie Self fan club before was he called a stumping about 8 overs ago. Got it down. Another wicket down. It's been a dominant performance today from the Waveriders, and the only question remaining is whether they can beat the Dingoes. And I'll just put that in context. 8 teams in the competition, so 7 teams that aren't yours. Each team played 6 games. Guess which one the Waveriders and Dingoes didn't play? Each other.
Oh, is that right?
This will be the first meeting between the Waveriders and the Dingoes, and, well, why not put it on centre stage? Final, Fred Kratzman Oval, here at Redlands. The seniors final will be behind us on Peterborough Oval. I'm sure that'll be a great game, but there'll be plenty here to enjoy as well.
So love to see that for the spinner, pick up a couple of wickets. It's the kind of wicket you dream about as a spinner, deceiving the batsman in flight, and the keeper loves that too. Opportunity to whip the bails off. Schubert in again, and he's pitched that beautifully.
The left arm spinner who bowled well in patches earlier today.
Schubert in again, gave that one a bit more flight and puller. The slog swept that one out to the man at deep mid wicket, and just one.
Still didn't get low enough, but that was a better slog sweep than some of the batters in his team have been able to muster. Jack Chapman asks, who's got the most dismissals for the comp? Answer in a moment. Well, not really an answer.
Schubert tosses that one up and just over the hands of the man at mid-wicket. Thought that was going to run away for a boundary, but they do have protection back there, and it'll just be 2 to the total.
So yes, the scoring is being done by volunteers here. Some of them are excellent, but not all of the catches and dismissals have been recorded, unfortunately. Your best chance is to go to the BPL app or the BrisbanePremierLeague.com website.
And he swapped hands over there. The new batsman, Puller, oh no, it was Arpany that switched hands and
stumped off a wide?
Playing a miss.
Oh no, sorry, last ball, sorry.
That's the game. So the Waveriders guaranteed their spot for the final. They'll be back in half an hour's time, 15 minutes time, sorry, to play the Dingoes in the final, and a convincing win there.
Very convincing win for the Waveriders. Worthy finals. It would have been strange had they not been in the final. It's a 60-run win to the Waveriders. We don't determine the player of the match, but if there's anyone up for Tom Whitney, I'm very surprised. So the final score for the Pirates, 6 for 116, as we compete with the percussion. Top score, Laffin, the great Laffin, he captained his side with pride today. Apart from that, several scores in the teens. The bowling figures, multiple wickets for Dale D'Souza with 2 for 26 and Schubert with 2 for 15. But everyone who bowled took a wicket, 1 for 11 each for Tom Whitney and Sam Willis, who bowled superbly. Tom Sippel and Jacinda Singh with 1 wicket each as well, 1 for 25 and 1 for 27 respectively. But a superb all-round performance from the Gold Coast Waveriders. At 2 o'clock, we will be back here for the first ever final of the Brisbane Premier League Under-19 men's tournament between the Darling Dingoes and the Gold Coast Waveriders. We will see you at 2 o'clock.
there is a creek thing.
It was like a lamb pocket campaign. It was like lamb pocket chips. So it was usually about $15. Something like that. So that would be. Thank you very much.
That's okay. If that interrupts the stream, it'll make some very funny commentary.